Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is the Angle Show live, and we are here with the special guest. We're making it happen. Joshua Gresham in Discord. They think he's John Gresham's brother. I think we should just lay out all the rumors. I think we should just cut the shit and, dude, let's get to the bottom of it. What's the word? Are you really Jonathan Gresham's brother?
No, I am not. We share the same last name.
Oh, man.
That is pretty much it. That's all I know. I can tell you guys from what I asked my parents, my grandfather had a history of being loosey-goosey after leaving the military in the 50s. So who knows? I could be related to the brother. I don't know. That man was everywhere. He could be a cousin. He could be an uncle. I don't know. So y'all think the Anawai family is longevity? The Gresham bloodline is out there. We're everywhere.
Bro, can I tell you something, though? Honestly, I got to kick you off the stream because I thought I was getting like a pro wrestling, like somebody in the business. I didn't realize you weren't actually. No way, bro.
Way I am in the business because I'm in the works of being an on-air talent. But
that's right, guys. If you don't know Joshua Gresham, aka Gresh, we've actually had him on the channel before. I've had to call in through Discord before, but he's also a content creator. He is the host of Gresham. I keep saying Gresham.
Gresh Unleashed. Yeah.
Gresh Unleashed. He is here today because we are doing WrestleMania predictions. This is the ultimate WrestleMania live prediction show. I promise you guys, the predictions that we have lined up today, there's nobody that's going to do it better. We're going to have fun. It's going to get chaotic. It's going to get crazy. So if you guys want to do me a favor and just show some love to Gresh, I have a Nightbot chat command in the chat, exclamation point guest, and then it's actually going to give you the link to all of his socials. So make sure you check him out. His show is incredible. Man, I'm so glad we're doing this.
I am unleashed. There's a reason.
I told him he's got to be careful what he says because we don't want to get in trouble by YouTube. But honestly, at this point, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could control you in some of those hot takes you might have today. So just go off.
Before we get started, I might as well do what I do on my show, and that is say greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, and everybody in between. We are live on the Angle Show with a WrestleMania prediction event. We are lit. We are doing it. Flexing season style. Let's go.
Look at this, man. It's already hype. So actually, I don't want to waste any more time. Shout out to everybody in the chat. A little bit after the predictions, at some point, I'll, any super chats we get or any membership shout outs or anything like that, I'll talk to you guys in the chat after we make our predictions. But for those who are watching on demand or live right here on the Angle Show, we are going to kick things off with WrestleMania predictions. I got the match cards ready. And honestly, this is the match I am so excited for. And there's actually quite a few matches, Gresh. I'm going to be honest. There's quite a few matches on this card. It's a 2-night event. We don't know what's main eventing night one. We don't know exactly where the match placement is. But this match has me excited. We're talking about Drew McIntyre, Gunther, and Sheamus. I want to kick things off with a bang. The triple threat match. Just first reaction to the build, and then secondly, what is your prediction, brother?
The meat extravaganza. That's what I'm calling it when we talking about Sheamus. Gunther. I call him Gunther. I don't call him Gunther. Gunther. And Drew McIntyre in a triple threat. Man, you trying to figure out my prediction? Man, I got to be honest with you. I kind of want to see Gunther drop the title a little bit. And the reason why I say that is because I want that man in the main event picture. The way this man has been booked for the past year has me like, bro, I'm ready to see him face maybe whoever the Universal Champion is, or have him built up for the next 6 months and go after the title either at SummerSlam or Survivor Series. But if I had to go for a win, I need them to give Sheamus his dub. Like, he's been killing it since Clash at the Castle, and I believe they had another match at some point, or was that just the Royal Rumble I'm thinking about?
They did Clash at the Castle. I think they did something on SmackDown too. I can't remember, but yeah, they have history.
Okay, so they have some history. Like, I know, like, I need Sheamus to get the dub, even if he doesn't pin Gunther, because they're gonna want to keep him protected.
Yeah,
just have him win the title and maybe have a little flip of the switchy here and have Drew turn heel and go after the Sheamus for a bit. I gotta throw that out there. But yeah, Sheamus is my pick.
I like it. I'm with you, actually. I like the idea of Sheamus winning. And one thing I do want to point out, because you just mentioned literally Drew McIntyre turning heel. I think it would be really cool. I don't know if they would do this because it's a 4-man group. I would not be mad with Drew McIntyre joining Imperium. I'm being honest. It wasn't something I thought about until last week, because Drew McIntyre is a good heel, and I know he doesn't necessarily fit the style of Imperium, but having Gunther, Gunther, like, yo, I just think there would be a really cool dynamic. I would want it to be short-lived, where like they bring Drew McIntyre in, and then Gunther, just being the overall heel, he ends up destroying Drew McIntyre at some point. Like, that's a singles feud that they build off of. I'm okay with Gunther losing, honestly. He's been so protected on the main roster. I think triple threat makes the most sense. But also, one of the things that really, really makes me excited about Gunther is the possibility of him winning Money in the Bank. And that's for me. That for me is like, hey, if like there's a trade-off to him losing the IC title, because this will happen. You know how Twitter is, but I think people will go on Twitter and they'll say, hey, Gunther's buried. I don't think that's the case if he loses. I think he's buried if he loses, never steps foot in WWE again. But it's clear as day they've been protecting him. So I would really like to see.
They've been protecting the heck out of him. I don't see him being, as Twitter says, buried. Like, they need to de-learn that word, unlearn that word. It's not. They learn the word. They learn insider terms and then just figure out, they know what we're talking about. No, everybody's not buried because they lost. Losing happens. It happens in regular sports, and it happens in the scripted sports entertainment that we enjoy every week. It is not going. He is fine. He is going to be fine. Like, I've had that dialogue all the time. The people are like, "Oh, you think this?" I'm like, there's no such thing. The beauty behind wrestling is, even if somebody loses, you can recreate that magic to where that you will care again. All they have to do, all the company has to do, is just make you care.
Yeah. And think about this too, right? Like, if Drew McIntyre were to be heel and part of Imperium, he doesn't really fit with Imperium. So it's automatically just associating them in this situation where, like,
like a clash of two leaders. Gunther, let me say it proper. Gunther has been such of a leader, and then Drew, he's been built up from WWE champion, like he's been the top dog. It's automatically going to be a clash of two peoples if that were to happen. Yeah. So that is the beauty behind it. Like, he's not going to take a Alexander Wolf role, or who else was in Imperium? Timothy Thatcher role. He's going to literally want to be the actual de facto leader. So that's going to build a nice program. That's the beauty behind this match. It's like they can go so many ways. So many ways.
And one thing I would love to mention here, because Sheamus, and I like Sheamus a lot. Honestly, what we've seen in the past year, he improved so much, bro. Not improved, because he was always the shit, but like, he did a really good job this past year showing his range and everything with the Brawling Brutes. I would actually also be okay with Sheamus winning the belt at Mania, Zack Ryder style, losing it on SmackDown WrestleMania after to a debut.
I wouldn't be against it, long as they don't just make it an instant thing, like make it a big deal.
100%.
That's always my big thing. It's like, if it's going to happen, make it a big deal. Don't just do it just for shock value. Like, make it and make it that part of his story where he's like, I won it, but now I have to have it for me.
Yeah.
He won it for the big moment, but now I want to have it for me. Or that's the beauty behind it. They can go so many ways with it. But I agree. If that were to happen, it won't be as quick as Ryder lost it, because Ryder was a smaller opponent at the time, and he was cheap. Sheamus, if you try to do that with Sheamus, he's going to fight, and that's why I love the praise that Sheamus is getting, because let's be honest, the first time he was a babyface in 2012 wasn't that good. Like, it was entertaining from time to time, and I think it was mainly harped because it was around the time where he squashed Bryan Danielson, so that kind of made me personally not a fan, because I was always a fan of Bryan Danielson, and seeing him get squashed like that, I was like, F you, Sheamus. F this, that. I was going crazy. So now that this version of Sheamus is a thing, and he actually wins the title, there's so many possibilities they can go with that too. So I'm ready for this particular match, and mainly because this meat fest is about to go crazy.
Oh, it's gonna slap. I mean, it's the best part too, bro. honestly, just thinking about this match. We saw what Gunther has done in the past year. And we saw what Drew McIntyre has done in the past year, despite losing to Roman Reigns. We've seen that all three of these guys could be feuding for the world title right now. That's how good all three of them are. So this is the mid card, right? And I look at this as like, man, if they can wrestle for 20 plus minutes,
right?
The storytelling in the ring is already going to be good. The dynamic between Drew and Sheamus is already going to be good. I'm sure you got to have Imperium have some shenanigans. This is going to be my match of the night.
Ooh, it'll
actually
be up there.
Scratch that, because WrestleMania is 2 nights. This is my match of WrestleMania. This is the match, the overall best match, and I'm talking from pure in-ring ability, meat slapping, men just going crazy. I swear, bro, I'm not joking. Because here's the thing too, right? You got Cody, you got Roman, you got all these other great matches, but this is the one where it's like, people, I promise you, somebody clip this, because this will happen. And when this happens, tweet me, use the hashtag TAS Live for engagement purposes. There's going to be a moment where all three guys are down in the ring, all laying down, and the crowd's going to be on their feet. Just screaming, this is awesome, you know, whatever it is. It's going to happen. They are going to create something so incredibly big in this match. I would be incredibly shocked if they let us down.
Oh yeah, and that's probably not going to happen, because whoever's been producing Gunther's matches for the past year has not missed. And this was someone who was not really a fan of Braun Strowman, and they had a nice match on SmackDown a few months back.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, if he can pull a great match out of Braun, in my opinion, this is not going to disappoint. This will steal the show. This will steal the show with easy.
And so with that, we're going to continue moving on. But I pick Sheamus. Gresh also picks Sheamus. Chat, I want to see what you guys think, because I think Sheamus is a great pick. But I don't think you could go wrong with anybody.
That's the beauty behind it. You can't go wrong with either outcome.
I kind of feel like
even
with this,
even Gunther retaining, like, because I know a lot of people want to see him break Honky Tonk Man's reign length.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If that happens, that's the beauty behind this match. Either outcome, I wouldn't be bummed out, because I know the match itself will be a fun situation.
What do you think? Just in regards to this entire card, like, I don't think there's any matches on this card where realistically you can make the wrong choice other than Charlotte Flair. Like, I think if Charlotte wins, that's the wrong choice. And I like Charlotte, but I just think it's time for Rhea Ripley. But I think, like, if Bianca retains, or I don't think there's really a wrong choice in any of these matches the way they book them, and that's just because of how strong everything's been.
The ones that they actually booked, sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about the throw together matches, but the ones they actually booked. Yeah. There's no bad outcome.
Yeah. Speaking of thrown together matches, Fatal 4-Way. We got the men's Fatal 4-Way tag team match. I know this sounds crazy because I just said Drew McIntyre and Sheamus and Gunther could be match of the weekend. Don't get it twisted. This match could also be match of the weekend, but it is a showcase match. There wasn't a significant build here. We got the Street Profits versus Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. Gresh, one thing that I really like about this match, despite being a throw together match, they're deeming it the showcase match. Every single tag team in this match has been showcased on TV regularly. So even though they all don't have a storyline necessarily justifying the purpose of this match, they all have some sort of storyline amongst themselves or within each other within the division. So I want to ask you, who is your pick? Who do you think is going to win this Fatal 4-Way tag team match?
The beauty behind this, every story that's going on, you have Otis. If you know the inside, Otis and Chad Gable, they're teasing that breakup, or with Otis joining Maximum Male Models, which is a killer tag team, by the way. You have Braun Strowman and Ricochet. I've been calling them the balding brutes because they're bald and they like to throw each other around and all that stuff. So I just call them the balding brutes. You have the brawling brutes, and I'm like, oh, you're the balding brutes because you're bald. And then you have the Viking Raiders, and then you have the Street Profits. It's like the beauty behind this one, you don't know which way to go, because like I said, I'm not really emotionally invested in the outcome, But if there were to be a team that I can see taking the win, it will more than likely be the Street Profits. And the reason why I say that is because it also depends on the placement of the card. Like, is it going to be in the middle of the card to try to get the crowd hyped? A win for the Street Profits would get the crowd hyped, no doubt. Or they can go to a different route and have the Alpha Academy win. Because, in my opinion, I'm tired of seeing Chad Gable lose. Because that man is one of the most incredible athletes I've ever seen in the ring. Like, every time he has a match, it's must see, in my opinion. Like, he has not missed ever since Triple H took over, even before. Like, he in ring wise, he's just like, once he shed that dreaded Shorty G gimmick, he just been snapping nonstop for ever since. That's how long I've been paying attention. Like, I'm not just somebody who don't pay attention. Like, I literally watch every show that I've seen in chat. Like, those are my two hopeful picks to win, either the Street Profits or Alpha Academy, but my definite pick would be Street Profits.
Yeah. I got to be honest, when I look at this, I actually have a different take than you. Okay. And I'm just going to be honest. I look at this because one of the things when I pay attention to news and rumors and I'm talking about it constantly, I know just based off what's been reported, some of the plans for certain individuals and things like that. And I can tell based on who says what I'm more than likely going to believe. So originally, I would say Street Profits make sense. There are rumors and reports that Montez Ford could be going on a solo run all the way through 2024. And it would actually lead for Angelo Dawkins also getting a nice push. Okay. I think this night will be the night where they start teasing the split of the Street Profits. I think we're going to see Otis walk away from Chad Gable 1,000%. He is going to be living it up with Maxine Dupree and Mace and Mansoor. I'm all for that. I think Braun Strowman and Ricochet, they've had some nice highlights in the last few months as a tag team. I think that's going to continue. I think we're going to see some really cool spots involving them. But I think this match, a lot of people are saying, what is the purpose of this match, right? After WrestleMania, it is officially the Triple H era. There is no excuses for Triple H not utilizing tag team wrestling. And if you truly want to make a big statement with tag team wrestling, let's keep the Viking Raiders on top. They're the bad guys. Give them a nice presentation. Have them win in a destructive way. But please, in this entire match, let's have Street Profits look extremely good. Let's progress the story of a potential split there after the fact. Let's have Chad Gable and Otis officially split. Let's get Maxine Dupree and Maximum Male Models on WrestleMania because they're not wrestling at the card. At least they could be on the show. Everybody benefits from that. Braun Strowman and Ricochet, no issues there. I would actually keep them as a tag team for right now. They've been doing pretty well. And I'm just glad to see Ricochet is freaking finally doing something of some sort of importance. But let the Viking Raiders go over. Make that the statement. Hey, these guys are former New Japan guys. You know, we butchered them in the past. We've changed their name too many times. We've done all these different things. Triple H, if you're serious about tag team wrestling, you have the Viking Raiders go over. But I want to throw one thing in there too, because there's a big but. If the plan is to keep the Street Profits together for a while, give them that moment. Because they're baby faces, and again, it depends on the slot of the card, but they're the baby faces. They're the guys who I think we all know. People are sleeping on Angelo Dawkins a lot more compared to Montez Ford. Both of these guys can wrestle, but most importantly, they got the character work down. So having that moment in front of 80,000 fans or whatever it may be, Montez Ford getting a very insane frog splash. If you're going to keep them as top baby faces in this division,
try to beat the one on Monday.
Yeah. So this is going to be an insane match. That's kind of how I see it. But I'm going to pick the Viking Raiders because I think that would be a big, big statement. And, you know, we don't know what's happening with FTR. We don't know what's happening.
To add on to your like for what you said, if they're going to go heavy with the Viking Raiders. Yeah. I would like to see them go in depth with the Viking aesthetics.
Yeah.
Like incorporate, like do more, and that's pretty much my thing that I've been desiring across the board. Incorporate more vignettes to give the crowd at home a reason to care.
Yeah.
Like you don't just go from match to match to match and then expect and go with the basics. Like, oh, okay, this is happening. Have exchanges between have whoever they're feuding with show up to their backyard and go through some shenanigans, some Viking type shenanigans. Like if you're gonna go with the Viking route, go full throttle with the Viking route. Like have them cut promos while hunting, like stuff like that. That's just me. Like that's just because I'm more of a story person. Like I respect the wrestling, but I'm like, give me as a viewer, as a creator, as a writer to care.
Yeah,
that's just my last little tidbit on what you was saying.
Yeah, and I think it's all very fair. And just one thing I'll add to that is they added Valhalla, which is Sarah Logan. Honestly, I know some people are critical of it, but I think visually speaking, it does come off. I think it's kind of cool, man. Honestly,
it's dope. I just made the jokes.
Yeah, of course, but also too, I will say this: I don't want to see her wrestling. I just wanted her to see. I want to see her elevate them as a group. Realistically, I really hope, especially because we're starting to see what that stage is looking like. I'm hoping some of these tag teams are getting the big entrances. I'm hoping this match goes longer than 10-15 minutes. I'm hoping this match is given a real chance to shine because all of these guys are here. They're going to make a statement. If Chad Gable's getting a serious push, he doesn't need to win here, but this is a really, really big statement maker for him to do German suplexes to Braun Strowman, or something to Eric Nivar. Yeah, of course. So my point that I'm making is you can do a lot of cool things with this match. So when people say, what is the purpose of these Fatal 4-Way matches? I think this is the statement match. Make a statement. And then I do want to point out, what does the winner of this match get? I don't know if they've announced it yet. There's rumors that they'll announce it on SmackDown. There's rumors that they got to do number one contender, right?
The winner faces, or at least eventually faces, the tag team champions. So it's whomever that may be. Like, that's the thing. Will they split? And that's another question we'll get to when we talk about the tag team titles. Like, will they split the titles? Will they keep them together? Stuff like that.
Exactly. So my pick, 100%. I'll just say the Viking Raiders. I think it makes the most sense.
Street Profits.
Street Profits.
And then, there we go.
Cool. Now we're going to move on to the Fatal 4-Way women's match, tag team match. We got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya Shotzi. We got Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, and then we also have Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. I don't want to spend too much time on this match. I'm just being honest. I don't. And with that, I'll just kind of say what I think really quick. This match is the most confusing match to me in the world because of the fact that when we talk about throwaway matches, these women weren't involved in anything as tag teams for a while. Aside from Shayna and Ronda, Rousey is injured. Nobody really knows what's happening there. So I do want to point this out. This is another statement match. Unfortunately, I don't think any of these people will be doing tag team matches for WWE's women's division going forward. But I do look at this match, and I think if I'm WWE, what I would do is I would have Liv Morgan and Raquel win. It would be cool for Liv to win at WrestleMania. It'd be cool for Raquel to win at WrestleMania. I also wouldn't be opposed to Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville winning. But for all intents and purposes, if we're really trying to build the women's tag team division, I'm going to look at the only true women tag team in this match, and that's Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. It might not be the most popular opinion. I know the IWC really don't give a shit about Baszler and Rousey, but ultimately they're the only true tag team in this match, so I have to pick them just out of logic.
I go with you on that one because even though I don't harp on news and rumors, I pay attention to what catches my attention. And the rumor was Shayna and Ronda eventually becoming tag team champions. Okay. And the reason why I say okay is because they haven't really built the women's tag team division. There's been non-existent. Like Natalya and Tegan was a tag team at one point on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Then Shotzi and Raquel were a tag team at one point on SmackDown. Liv and Raquel hated each other at one point on SmackDown. Sonya Deville was just put there because Carmella is reportedly injured or MIA. I don't know. Yeah. I don't really follow that stuff. This match is literally just there. Will it be a, like I said on Monday when I watched, when they announced when Chelsea and Sonya were put in this match, I said this match would either be a low-key solid match or just there. Yeah. And that's how I feel about this match. It's just there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we both got Ronda and Shayna on that. I don't really have too much to say on this. Like it's literally just literally was just a thrown together match. The only difference between this one and the men's was the men's they just announced everybody.
Yeah.
This one they had qualifying matches.
Yeah.
And I literally said the joke and I said, this is literally what happens when you sim 5 years into universe mode in 2K.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing too is the men's tag team division. It's hard because the titles were obviously held hostage by the Usos, but at the very, very minimum, it's not like these guys haven't been wrestling on TV. Like they've been wrestling on TV as tag teams. And then you kind of mentioned it too with like the whole thing with Tegan and Natalya, but now it's Shotzi and Natalya. It's just a weird scenario. If there's one Triple H blunder that I have, it's this one. This will always be a blunder in WWE. I've said this so many times. I don't want to see women's tag team titles in any promotion unless you truly build a division. The only company that's been doing that is Impact. So, if WWE wants to use this match as a way to say, look, we're really going to focus on the women's division. Okay, I'll eat my words. If you really want to build these women as tag teams, use this match. Let them do cool things. Let them go over. Give them some time. If this match goes 5 minutes and Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are just kicking everybody's ass, you're just basically telling us what we already know, which is this division is garbage. I hope that's not the case. I do want to throw something out there, though, because you mentioned Carmella. Carmella and Chelsea Green aren't teaming up, but I talked about this in a video the other day. Whatever happened on Raw with Chelsea Green, Sonya Deville, and Adam Pearce was, for me, I thought it was like, yo, if they want to go this route of a whole bunch of Karens teaming up together and starting a faction, I'm all for it, bro. The complaint department is something I would support. So it's like, random.
Shout out Chris. He gave that. Shout out my boy Chris on Twitter. He literally said the mega Karens because he put a gif of Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. So if they go this route, do it.
Yeah. If you're gonna do it, do it now. Do it at WrestleMania. And honestly, just because everybody throws the word buried away onto social media and chat and everything like that. Chelsea Green losing, it should happen. And her and Sonya Deville should throw a freaking hissy fit. And for those people who watch Impact and remember TNA Impact, the good days of Laurel Van Ness. We talked about this on my live stream yesterday. The hot mess. Chelsea Green is kind of like that, but in WWE without dressing like that. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I don't care about this match, to be honest. And it's sad because I like all of them. I think they're all talented. They're all great.
We're sitting here trying to find a reason to invest in this match. Like that's how, and that's not a shot at women's wrestling. Like for those who want to say it, no, it's just what they're presenting in front of us isn't the best. And that's just how it is. It was that was the reason why I know a lot is unpopular. That's the reason why Mercedes and Trinity walked out. There's a lot. It's like they're not giving them the best that they should be giving. It should be equal with both men and women. It shouldn't be just having the women and then expecting us to care off of fandom. But that's how I feel about a lot of these matches when it comes to the women. It's the only reason why I care so much is because of being a fan of them.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. People got to separate the difference too, because if you look at it from the perspective of, like, I think Natalya is a hell of a performer. I do. But
workhorse. Yeah,
but she's been a veteran. She's been there forever. And if this is a showcase match, you don't need to put the veteran in there. You need to put somebody like Tegan, who doesn't have that WrestleMania experience,
Weren't they a tag team at one point, Tegan and Shotzi, before she got released?
Yeah. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So, like, again, people want us to care. People want us to care about the women's tag team division because we want to care about the women's tag team division. But WWE doesn't care about the women's tag team division, and it's evident with the booking. And I'm sorry, but that right there is like, I'm a fan of these people. I really want to see them do well, but I can't sit here and act like I care about this match whatsoever. I'm hoping it blows us away. I'm hoping they deliver something in ring, so that way it's like, okay, let's actually support this shit. Let's really pressure Triple H and WWE to do something differently. Unfortunately, it's not just WWE's main roster, but wrestling in general. There's not that many true women tag teams. Coming up, there was the Hardys, there was Edge and Christian, there was Team 3D. There was so many tag teams back in the day. When you look at WWE today, you see them in the men's division. You don't see them in the women's division. NXT, you have a couple women's tag teams, and that's great. But then what does WWE do in NXT? They end up splitting them up. They're best friends. They turn on each other. It's the same shit that's recycled over and over again. I'm sorry, but historically speaking, the odds are stacked completely against this division. I want it to be better.
That was their other mistake with NXT. They had something going. They shouldn't have made an NXT Women's Tag Team titles. They should have just had NXT Tag Teams coming to Raw and SmackDown. I'll die on that hill.
and remember, too, before they did the NXT Women's Tag Team titles, it used to be actually defended. It was barely defended, but it used to be defended at least
across all three,
which I thought that was the right choice. But nonetheless, I'm picking Ronda and Baszler. You are picking Ronda and Baszler?
Ronda and Baszler. Yep.
Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike, Gresh. Just a quick reminder, guys, I'm going to throw the chat command in the chat, ! Guest. If you guys want to stay in tune with everything Gresh is doing, great personality. He's got some fire takes today. We're talking more and more about WrestleMania. Coming up, we're going to be talking about this big match, Gresh. We got some singles matches. We got some big matches, we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens versus the Usos, keeping the theme with tag team wrestling. This is for the undisputed tag team champions, the championship belts. I think this is a no-brainer, but the floor is yours, my friend.
Man, the story behind this one has been like, I've been following this story since 2020 when the bloodline started. So I've been enjoying and biting my teeth at every twist and turn. I was one of those who was invested when Sami Zayn possibly beating Roman Reigns in Elimination Chamber for the Universal title, and was like enjoying the atmosphere that it created when Roman won, and then eventually the will they won't they with Kevin Owens teasing or forgiving Sami, even though me, who's been watching Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens since it was El Generico and Kevin Steen, turn on each other like crazy. So it was like, all right, will Jey Uso side with the bloodline or side with Sami Zayn? That's the beauty. It's like it had you invested. This is by far one of the greatest storylines that WWE has put on in years, and I've been through the highs and lows ever since 1999. So it's like I've been there. But man, the thing with this one is, I feel like it's a no-brainer. I see the fall of the bloodline starting, and I see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens walking out as the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions.
Yeah,
that's just me. Like it's brother versus brother. Air quote on the brother with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, but they've been turning on each other left and right. They're literally family. Like many times I don't knock my brother upside the head, and then vice versa. So it's like it's relatable. So, and the same thing with Jimmy and Jay, they twins. It's like, oof.
I love it.
So much they going, but I expect this match. We talked about Gunther and Sheamus and Drew still in the match, still in the weekend. This might be up there. This match might be up there to steal the weekend. I'm just saying. Like ever since the Usos held the titles hostage, they haven't missed when those belts were on the line. Can't even lie. Can't lie. So, but I see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn taking the dub on this one.
Yeah, I'm with you 1,000%, and I have two main points that I really want to make. The first one is, I remember last year, a lot of people. And dude, I tell this every single time. It's like the best point that I can ever make is usually supported by something I said before. So WrestleMania 38, Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. The world was, this guy's buried. He's not a top guy. They don't view him as any importance. He's garbage. Look how they treated him. And I said, guys, if you're involved with a celebrity, that is the biggest and utmost trust that the company has. Sometimes even the same as being a world champion, because this is something that gets picked up outside of wrestling, right?
Thanks.
Sami Zayn last year and Johnny Knoxville had arguably one of the greatest and most entertaining matches at WrestleMania because of how silly and ridiculous it was, but it was excellent. And this past year, we saw the rise of Sami Zayn. This match is going to be one of my favorite matches. I'm not saying it's going to be the greatest match because it really depends, again, crowd involvement. I mean, I think this has all the pieces to be one of the best matches of the weekend, of course. But if this is not the main event, I think that hurts. I think it needs to be the main event of night one. I think this match needs to be a 20 to 30-minute match at the very minimum. I think it needs to be a long match. I think this match also needs to see more, because I know these guys are all good wrestlers, but the trend with this storyline has been the storytelling, right? The small things. I want WWE to not forget that. I'm okay with shenanigans. I'm okay. Solo Sikoa is not wrestling at WrestleMania. I'm okay with him getting involved. I'm okay with WWE teasing the possibility of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens potentially losing, only for them to come together and really make it happen. This has all the makings to be a classic. People are also sleeping on how great the Usos are, and this is where tribalism pisses me off, because you got guys like the Young Bucks, you guys got like the Lucha Bros, and you got so many great tag teams in AEW. But this match, I don't think people realize how incredible it could be. The Usos are so good in the ring. And actually, you know what? I will say this, because I was wrong about Jimmy and Jey Uso. Years and years ago, and I could probably find the clip, I said, yeah, these guys are good. They're great wrestlers. I've seen them against the New Day. I've seen classic matches, right? They're amazing in the ring. And I always said, they just don't have the characters to really be anything more than just good wrestlers. And 2020 to 2023, I've never eaten my words so much in my life, because these guys are putting on crazy performances in the ring, but they are showing us that there is more to being a good wrestler, and having good characters will get you invested, which is why I feel so bad to say that they are losing, but they are losing because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they're walking out as champions. It's going to be the perfect way to end WrestleMania, and the best part is tag team division back on track.
I'm about saying, let's really dive in the fact that they need to lose. Yeah. And the reason why I say they need to lose is because it's going to add to that next level of the bloodline. The reason, the beauty behind this bloodline storyline, there's so many freaking layers that they can go with this, and everybody who's in a part of this faction can tell a different story, and you're going to be invested. That's just, I know I will. I can't speak for everybody. I'm only one man, but I know I'm going to be invested, which wherever they go. But Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have to win for that feel good moment. That's all I got on that.
All right, chat, I want to know what you guys think about this match. I think it's going to main event night one. I think it needs to main event night one. The core storyline has been so incredible. Me and Gresh, I think everybody will agree with us in the sense of saying it's time for new champs. I do want to make one last point, though, just very quickly. It's time to split up those titles.
Most definitely.
It's time to split up those titles. It's time to have Raw and SmackDown have its own tag team division. If they don't split up the titles, it's time to get rid of the red and blue titles. It's time to really make this tag team division stand out, because we're looking at talent in this division. There's a lot of great teams, and they've had to take a step back because of the storyline. And I just think this storyline could, as you mentioned, the layers, and it can evolve. Where does it go from here? But it's time to.
That's the thing about it too with the belts. It's like, do they wait for a draft to do it? Because Kevin Owens is on technically on Raw. Sami Zayn's technically on SmackDown. It's going to be a whole bunch of like, which belts do Kevin Owens sign or dedicate his times to SmackDown, or do it's so? That's what I'm saying. A draft needs to happen.
Yeah, it needs to happen, and it's got to happen ASAP.
Because that's what I'm saying. I pay attention to these things, and me asking this question means everybody has that same question.
It's mad important, dude. I think people forget, like, you know, and again, it's just WWE has been incredibly logical. Obviously, WrestleMania season comes around, and then the brand split's kind of like not a big deal anymore. I talked about it on the channel. They are expected to do another draft. There's rumors that pay-per-views could be having, like back in the day, Raw pay-per-views and SmackDown pay-per-views. They feel like there's some serious depth with the roster where they can make that happen. If that's true, if that's all legit, and of course I always take those things with a grain of salt, but if it's legit, just look at how great it is to have tag team champions of this caliber, right? Again, we said this earlier. It's like there's a lot of matches where you can't go wrong with the winner. And as much as I think it's time to change the titles and move on from the Usos, the storylines have been so damn good. If they did walk out as winners, it would be shocking, but I don't know if I would be necessarily upset, because we all know eventually the belts, the draft, there's a lot of things in the works. It's written on the wall. But of course, I think the right way to go here is Sami and Kevin.
Right. Nice work.
Gresh, it's time to get to some singles action.
Oh.
All right. This one right here. is probably one of my favorite stories
Mm-hmm.
going into WrestleMania. And there's a lot of good stories in wrestling these days, but this one just feels so real. And we're talking about Dominik Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio. If you asked me during the pandemic era of wrestling, how good would Dominik Mysterio and Rey Mysterio's build be? I don't know if I would be this excited. I'm not going to lie. But this is a fun one.
Was for a heel turn.
All it took was a heel turn. All it took was a failed faction to then eventually get overtaken by Triple H to be made into something great.
Yep. Because let's be real, Judgment Day, people was making fun of Judgment Day. Now they're must-see TV.
Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, a whole bunch of people that under Vince McMahon, they weren't looking this good. Dominik Mysterio sure as hell was not going to have a big career with Vince McMahon in charge, in my opinion.
No, because he would have still been babyface. Team, it would have been father-son tag team. He would have went a whole different route. Like, that's what I'm saying. And I can give credit to Dom's turn, because I was one of those people who've written off Dom. Like, if you listen to my show early in the first season, when we was doing the weekly reviews for Modern Wrestling, that's literally all I was like, man, Dom ain't going nowhere. Dom ain't this. But then soon as he turned heel at Clash at the Castle, joined Rhea Ripley, and it was still kind of shaky a little bit. I'm not finna just say it was an instant gratification. Soon as he turned heel, and they started doing those holiday video specials on social media with invading the Mysterio household, and then Dom eventually getting arrested and becoming ex-con Dom or Dirty Dom or whatever they want to call him that week. And he started feeling like he was an ex-con, even though he was in a holding cell for like 2 hours. But it's the way that he just, and you can tell that him joining the Judgment Day, the people who were in that group, because they're no slouches. Rhea Ripley, like you said, Damian Priest, he's been a beast ever since joining that group. Finn Balor, like, that dude has been knocking it out of the park with his aesthetics of being a part of the Grape Street crew. If you know what I'm talking about, if you understand GTA reference. It's like stuff like that. Like, you can tell that Dom had no choice but to step up or get stepped on, and he's chosen to step up. Like I said it on Raw when he cut a promo, that was his best promo on his father ever since Ray knocked him out on SmackDown. But that was Dom's best promo ever since joining their group, or ever since being in WWE. Period. And that's just, and I don't throw that around often. I don't say, oh, that was the best promo, because I guard that with pride. I don't want to just say everything was the best I've ever seen, but I can tell you right now, that was the best promo that Dom has ever cut. And I'm ready for this match. Like, it's so many ways that I can see this going. Like,
So who are you picking? Who's your final pick?
Dominik Mysterio. I gotta go with Dom, because Ray going into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Ray, legendary luchador. He obviously going to hootie-hoo. He's gonna, if you watch WCW Rey Mysterio, you understand that reference too. He's gonna hootie-hoo Dominik all over the place, but in the end, Dominik Mysterio is going to take the dub, and it might end with him ripping Ray's mask off and hold it over his head.
This is quite honestly the craziest thing that I think I'll ever predict, because this is so far-fetched, but I don't think the storyline ends here. I don't think so. And I know this sounds crazy, so bear with me for a second, but I think we have got into a point with WWE where the storyline here is so good, but we don't know when Rey Mysterio is going to retire. And I think there is going to be a possibility where Rey ends up winning. And I think it comes because of Bad Bunny. I think Bad Bunny, we're going to see Damian Priest, Dominik Mysterio. They're going to cheat. They're going to do as much as possible to cheat. Rey Mysterio is going to be obliterated. I mean, he is really going to make Dominik Mysterio look great in this match, which I can't even imagine, like, being a father, like, working with your son at WrestleMania, firsthand experiencing that. It would be pretty insane. But I think Bad Bunny helps Rey Mysterio win. It sets up Backlash, Bad Bunny and Rey Mysterio versus the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Dominik Mysterio. And then I think we get Career versus Mask at SummerSlam in Detroit. If I'm fantasy booking this, Rey Mysterio puts his mask on the line against Dominik Mysterio at SummerSlam. And you know what? For shits and giggles, let's just throw this out there. Let's put this into the universe because some people think I'm qualified for a creative job in WWE. Dominik Mysterio's heel run has been so incredible. I would actually have him wrestle Rey Mysterio in Detroit. And when he beats Rey Mysterio to retire him, he chooses not to take Rey Mysterio's mask. He then reveals his own mask and then officially becomes Prince Mysterio. It's a black mask, black gear. He officially goes all in on the heel luchador gimmick as Prince Mysterio. And that right there, my friends, is fantasy booking 101. It would just be insane. Because I think a lot of people expect him to kiss and make up with Rey after the fact. And I don't think that should happen. He's so good as a heel. I want to see more of it.
Do you think he goes the Santos Escobar route with entering with a mask and then taking off during the match? Or you think he's just going to go full throttle, wear the mask the entire time? Because we've already seen his face, even though we've already seen Rey Mysterio's face if you follow WCW. But it's like, do you think he goes the Rey Mysterio route and just go full mask the entire time, or do you think he just wears it to the ring and then takes it off during after the entrance and then just go that route?
So here's the thing. I don't want to say this in like a negative way, but I look at guys like Dragon Lee, for example, or Axiom. They're wearing masks. They're in NXT. I don't want a whole bunch of people just going up to the main roster wearing luchador masks. You know what I mean? Right. I don't want to see that happen because ultimately then it's like, and again, I don't mean this in a negative way, but I just don't want people to look like, I don't want people to get confused. You know, it's like when there's so many people, they're all wearing like the same type of gear. They don't really stand out differently, you know? So plus, and then you're talking about Santos Escobar. Like he doesn't wrestle with the mask, obviously. He comes out with it, takes it off.
Yeah.
I think Dominik could do both, but I would really like to see him wrestle with the mask. I do. I want to see him wrestle with the mask. I want to see them look at all of these luchadors, like, and historically, they're always almost always baby faces. They're the hero for the kids. We don't really get those villainous masked characters in WWE.
With Sin Cara Negro in 2011.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Sin Cara, bro. Sin Cara.
That's the one I've been watching. I bring up the good and the bad.
I had to censor myself, dude, because that was garbage, though. And I think Triple H has such a huge respect for wrestling outside of America, too, where I think it could work really good in Dom's favor to really hone in on the heel character. I will say, you can't go wrong with either choice. I think if you wore the mask or whatever. But I just love everything that they're doing here. Dominik Mysterio losing at WrestleMania, there's nothing wrong with it. I also think keep the story going. You get Bad Bunny involved. Backlash is going to be insane. One thing I do want to point out, too, is Legado del Fantasma are baby faces now. Do they get involved in this match?
That's another question I was about to bring up. Like, do they go full throttle with the babyface, or do they turn them heel too? Like, because I noticed on Raw when Legado made the saves, Zelina wasn't there. She probably was out somewhere. I don't know.
She was doing an award show. Yeah.
Okay. So like, but then when she was there, she was a babyface with them too. So it's like, do they go full throttle with the babyface and have them back Rey Mysterio and have him in like a Godfather type role with Legado, or do they have them turn on him too eventually on down the line?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
of course I can, because it's the Ango show. No, I'm messing. All right, ready? That was cringy. That was cringe, bro.
Yeah, nobody looked down on.
Are we live? Yo, are we live? Yo, my bad. All right, ready? This is a serious question, though.
Yeah, what's up?
Because it always gets brought up. LWO, Latino World Order. Would you do it?
Yeah. And actually take it serious this time, because I know the LWO wasn't really taken too serious in WCW because it was WCW, Eric Bischoff, and all that stuff. But I would bring a version, because I always had this fantasy where like whenever booking, I was like, if Rey Mysterio does retire in ring, he could become like a godfather of the new LWO and recruit Latino or any type of wrestler that he wants and make them the prominent. Like he can eventually kiss and make up with Dom, but not in the way a lot of people expect. He can see Dom's way of wrestling, and that could be a way to turn him heel. Like that's how I envision it. I'm not saying it makes sense or it works, but that's what I'm saying. Like that can be their way of bringing him back to Dom's side. Not have Dom turn to light, but have Rey understand why Dom is the way he is. Stuff like that. Yeah. And have him eventually recruit Legado eventually, like if they need to have a full throttle faction. And that was just how I envisioned it. I think I envisioned that when Rey was in Lucha Underground. Yeah, that's how I was like, bring LWO that way. But yeah, I could see them. If I was him, I'd pull the trigger.
I would do it, but not with Rey.
Who would you do it with?
Legado del Fantasma, Santino, Escobar. Wait, did I say Santino? Santos Escobar. Yo, dog, I've been watching too much Impact. Yo. Santos Escobar comes out with the Cobra. What? Yo, that was a big botch, dude. That was a bad botch. Yo, that's crazy. That's funny. Santino Escobar, dude. Somebody's got to Photoshop that now because it's just going to kill me. It's going to crack me up. Shit. Anyway, Santos Escobar, Legado del Fantasma. And honestly, I love everything that Dominik Mysterio has done with Rhea Ripley, but I don't want that to be the whole premise of Rhea Ripley's title run if she wins. So I would actually be really happy with Dom being in that group.
So would you retire Rey like completely and then introduce the new group? Or like as a way to have them a group and then attack Rey to kind of write him off? So Rey's going to retire on his back. That's just
for sure. I think if he's putting over the future of Lucha Libre, if he's putting over the future of his son, I'm still 1,000,000% in the sense of like Dominik Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio. Dom wins the match. He wins Rey Mysterio's mask, but instead he becomes Prince Mysterio, wears his own mask. I know the whole idea of passing down your mask is like a thing that they do and whatever, but like I'm 100% in the belief that Dominik Mysterio stays as a heel. So I imagine, what if Dominik wins and then LWO got revealed? You know, it's fantasy booking 101. Like, we're just sitting here, we're throwing some crazy stuff, obviously, but I feel like that would be way more beneficial. So I wouldn't have Rey Mysterio in the group, but if I'm having fun with the fantasy booking, I do it all after SummerSlam. Like right now, we got to get Bad Bunny, Backlash, Damian Priest. Like that's what I want to see, and then I would like to see the super group form in at SummerSlam after Dominik retires. Rey.
Okay. Yeah.
So my pick was Rey Mysterio. Your pick was Dominik Mysterio.
Yeah.
Again, another match though. I don't think there really is a wrong decision. So that's in my opinion, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing too, because I know we spent some time on this, just the Hall of Fame. I talked about it a while ago. They should use the Hall of Fame Rey Mysterio speech as an opportunity to make that match even more heat. So,
yeah, of course.
Yeah. Another singles match. Dominik Mysterio's buddy in the Judgment Day, his buddy Finn Balor. Hell in a Cell, Demon Balor versus the Demon Edge. I don't know what they're calling him, the Devil, the Brood, whatever. Edge and Finn Balor in Hell in a Cell. For those who don't know, this is going to be in the original Hell in a Cell. They're not doing the red cell anymore. Thank God.
My eyes, thank you. Thank you so much for bringing back the original, because that red was a chore to sit through.
Yeah, that was hard. Again, Hell in a Cell now feels important. It doesn't have to be its own pay-per-view. It could be used for a big blow-off to big feuds. And I don't really have too much input on this one, actually. I think this is Finn Balor's match. He has to win 1,000,000%. This is he's bringing back the demon character. I don't really care how they go about it. It's a Hell in a Cell match. You want to have shenanigans in it. You want Beth Phoenix in it. You want to do all those things. That's completely fine. Do whatever the hell you want. But this is Finn Balor's match to ultimately be put over.
Just don't do what you did Extreme Rules, because don't cut the top rope.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, when that happened, I was just like, well, that does that. But now they're trying to they're rehabilitating the demon character. And me personally, from an aesthetics point of view, I hope they let Finn go crazy with the demon paint again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying go full Marvel DC character type vibe like he did in New Japan, but I'm talking about like go insane with it to where it feels different. Because if it's just the same old red and black and white paint, okay, the match will be fine. But as far as this, I think the reason why I'm with you as far as like not having too much input, this feud has been going on for quite a while.
Yeah.
We've seen I Quit matches, we've seen mixed tag team matches, we've seen what other type, like we've seen repeated exchange. We've seen everything within this Edge versus the Judgment Day feud ever since he was booted out when Finn Balor joined.
Yeah.
And ironically, after Finn Balor lost to Judgment Day, so that whole reasoning was kind of confusing. But it's like I'm ready for them to put this feud to bed, and what better way? It is apropos that it is inside Hell in a Cell, the original Hell in a Cell, or the original color of Hell in a Cell, and hopefully they let them do some real gnarly stuff that keeps us engaged, keeps us entertained. Because I think this is what the only stipulation match of the weekend, I believe. I could be
as of right now. They haven't. There's always a chance WWE could announce something on SmackDown. They could announce things on the kickoff show. But as officially announced, this is the only one that has a real stipulation.
So hopefully they go full throttle with this. Like, I can see them opening the night with this one. I can see them opening night 2 with this one, since John Cena in theory, which we'll talk about in a second, are opening night 1. So it'll be a fun way to kick off the show, see the demon and all that good stuff. Or even if it's in the middle of the show, I know this match itself will be fine. It will be fun, and hopefully it is a way for Edge to eventually move on to something else, as he keep teasing that it's going to be his last full year in ring. So I know this match will deliver. If I have to go with my pick, I see them putting the demon over and having him win against Edge, and kick off a nice push for Finn in the main event scene going forward on Raw.
So just a nice little callback to some videos I made about 9 months ago. When Triple H took over WWE, one of the biggest things that Triple H had in mind was reestablishing certain stars who needed some rehabbing. So Finn Balor was on that list. There was a rumor that at that point in time, they had plans for Finn Balor to go back into the demon character, making it a very big character. That was a very serious commitment for WWE. There was also reports that at one point, WWE wanted Finn Balor to eventually become a world champion again. And at the time, obviously, Finn Balor, the Judgment Day was a thing. And I remember specifically talking about Finn Balor when he does become the demon. However they decide to do it, they have to make sure he wins, because anything other than a win, it's done. Like, you have to make this the best version of demon possible. So entrance, it's WrestleMania. They better be investing in the entrance. They got to be investing in every aspect of this match. The match has to deliver. It has to be logical. It has to be a nice back and forth, while at the same time, they're not just shitting on Edge. Because if you're shitting on Edge, then
what's the point?
Yeah. If Finn Balor looks like Bray Wyatt as the Fiend, like if it's some stupid shit like that, it's done. It can't be over theatrical. It's got to be, he can't be sitting outside of the ring. The red light.
like a flapping fish.
If we see that shit, it ain't going to work out for them, okay? It's going to be rejected. So, again, they got to be very careful with how they do this. But I do think, I do think based on what I've heard for the last 9 months, Finn Balor is going to be completely fine. We also have to get Finn Balor away from the Judgment Day. And I love him in the Judgment Day. If there is a way for them to make the demon character work with the Judgment Day, I'm all for it. But I think at some point, if Finn Balor really wants to be a world champion, he shouldn't have to be with the Judgment Day to do so. again, that's hit or miss. They can do both. They can keep him with the group. I just think for him to really, really stand out on his own, he should be the Finn Balor babyface that we saw in NXT, come into WWE Universal Champion, then he turns into the Demon. That's the Finn Balor I want to see. Also, I could throw this out there. People I've personally spoken to within the industry. It's so fun I could be able to say that now. But people I've personally spoken to have said that Triple H's number one goal was to restore value in people who lost value. And you don't need a championship to have value. We saw what Finn Balor has done with the Judgment Day. Completely turned things around from him compared to how he was previously booked. There was one point in time, people actually often forget this. Finn Balor was jobbing out on Raw, just like Jeff Hardy was, because he was the veteran putting over talent. So just a little recap for people who seem to forget that. It's a night and day difference already. Triple H has done a good job as far as that goes.
And as far as like with his booking too, they're not making it where he has to rely on the Demon to get a win.
Yes.
Because remember at one point that was a thing where he was losing as regular Finn.
Yeah.
But then when he became the Demon, he all of a sudden became a strong entity to defeat Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania, that long WrestleMania in 2019 when he was Demon, when he fought Andrade in Saudi and he sweat the paint off and he was just regular Finn winning. Like, I remember these things. So it's like, yeah, it's good that they actually are having, because this is the beauty behind this booking with Finn as well. Now he is dominant as regular Finn, Judgment Day Finn, and now he's going to probably be as dominant as the Demon, and they're going to make it an attraction more so than a reliance on him to power up, because he needs that final adrenaline rush to win in the rivalry. So I'm cool with this. My pick is still Finn.
Yeah. There's no way I pick anybody other than Finn Balor in this match, but I did open up a can of worms on social media. So Christian Cage gets buried alive, and I remember tweeting out that night, I said, man, like, getting buried alive, that's a very significant way to write somebody off TV. We don't know anything about his contract details, but maybe his contract is up with AEW. I don't know. I didn't get some like insider bullshit. There was nobody reporting it. There was nothing from Meltzer's or Sean Ross Saps or anything. Nobody has clarification on this. Nobody's publicly talking about it, but I opened it up a can of worms because I said, maybe there's something to this, and maybe this is Christian Cage doing the job, putting over a young talent who is the future of AEW. Maybe we see him one last run in WWE with Edge. And I know to some people that sounds unrealistic, and it very well could be unrealistic, but I talked about this in a video, and I'm just saying, with rumors that Gangrel will be there with Edge for the entrance, if you're doing the Brood, Christian Cage, Edge, I don't know, man. If it's the end of my career, I think what a way to go out, right? You have the Judgment Day with Finn, you have the Brood with Edge. There's something about that, two different eras coming together, colliding. I think this match is going to be one of those matches where people are sleeping on it a little bit because it's been a long-ass storyline. But this one will deliver. Now, if Christian Cage shows up in WWE, I'm being honest with you. Props to WWE and props to myself for freaking just being so incredibly damn smart. I will take all the kudos for that because I will look like a genius. I don't think that's really going to happen because, again, we don't know his contract. But just I'm visualizing this, and from a visual experience, bro, there's something insanely incredible thinking about Gangrel, Christian, and Edge going face to face, locking eyes with Dominik, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor. And it doesn't even have to be a match. It doesn't have to lead to a match or anything. I don't think I want to see Gangrel wrestle in 2023, but my point is just the visual of seeing two different eras, and it would be really cool, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I agree on that. Like, that would be a nice little fun tidbit to see. And
it's like I said, it's always the small things. I pop for the small things.
Right.
So we both pick Finn Balor, right?
Right. Correct.
All right, cool. So we're gonna keep it going. Let's talk about it. Theory versus Cena for the United States Championship. I'm torn on this one, bro.
Mr. Self-proclaimed A-Town Down. Man, got people from Atlanta, not from Atlanta, saying A-Town Down, even though we haven't said A-Town Down since 2006, but that's neither here nor there. But, oh man, this is, I see the build. It's just a battle of like theory. I can give credit where credit's due, because the inside joke for people who follow me on Twitter, I hate Theory. I don't hate the guy. Yeah. He's supposedly he's repping Atlanta. And ever since Triple H took over, I can't have anything bad to say about this man. The Survivor Series War Game match, it was a fun match against Seth Rollins and Lashley. His showing in the Elimination Chamber in February, I can't say anything bad about that. I know I always give props to Montez Ford for his coming out party in that match. Theory held his own in that.
Yeah.
The build hasn't been over the moon. It's pretty much straight to the point. John Cena lighting this man up on during their face to face, to the point where I was like, bro, is Theory about to cry? That's how lit up that John Cena did him. But I give props to what they did on Raw. They had him cut a promo in the empty arena. Yeah. Gave me bad 2020 vibes, but it was still a good promo with Theory responding. He was like, yo, I don't respect you. I'm not doing this to be the next you. I'm not doing this because the kid want to be the next Austin Theory. I'm doing this because for me. It's just for me. So I will say that with all due respect to John Cena, I see Austin Theory taking that dub and being put over as the future of WWE. Uninterrupted, unequivocally. And it's funny how all it took was for Theory to grow a beard and stop taking selfies was for people to start taking him serious. But I would definitely see John Cena putting Theory over, and Theory possibly losing the title on Raw to a debut.
Yeah. No, I think that's the right decision. Honestly, I think you nailed it 100%. Because, dude, if you really think about it too, honestly, like, okay, if you want to see a clear difference between Triple H and Vince McMahon booking, look at Theory. Triple H had this guy cash in a mid-card, the Money in the Bank for a mid-card title belt, and people were pissed. Pissed. And I was like, bro, like, and I'm not trying to defend WWE, but logically it made sense. All of it made sense. And then what happened after, the follow-up was just as important as that moment. They should have never given Theory the Money in the Bank. There was no chance that Money in the Bank would ever be successfully cashed in on Roman, and it would look really, really bad for Theory to cash in on Roman and fail, because there's just no chance. There's levels between them, you know? Roman is up here, Theory's down here. When Theory was cost the opportunity to become champion with the Money in the Bank briefcase, it basically said, hey, now we could get away from this Vince McMahon forced booking. We can do something different with Theory. This build was an interesting build. I don't care too much for the build. Like you said, it was very straight to the point and direct. Theory's promo on Raw, I mean, his promos have been really, really good. Theory's promo on Raw, to me, signified this is the guy who should win and defeat John Cena. However, I actually want to see John Cena toss him around a little bit. I want to see them make this kind of look like a very hard-fought victory for Theory, because then he really has to grind. He really has to do the work to win. And then you can have him show up on Raw, and his ego gets the best of him. Holds the championship up, taped ribs, shoulders all taped up. I'm a fighting champion. That's what I do. I don't do this for you guys. I do this for me. I'm here to test myself. My championship is on the line tonight. Who wants it? Come get it. And honestly, if you really want to go the direction of putting over an NXT talent, Braun Breaker, you can have him there. You can have Cameron Grimes, who has yet to debut. You can have him come up and beat Theory. You can have somebody getting repackaged, right? There could be somebody getting repackaged. You have Mustafa Ali, who's in this new gimmick. There's a lot of ways you can go about this, but I would love to see a title change. It shouldn't happen at WrestleMania. You really want,
because he's going straight to film. So it's not like he's going to be there every week. It's going to be a part-time situation. Yeah. We don't want that. Yeah. we don't want that no more. We want them to move forward. Like, respect to John Cena, certified Hall of Famer. If he don't go in next year, he'll definitely go in 41. Yeah. But it's like, it's time. It's time. So I see Theory with that one, with this one. There's just no other way around it.
Yeah, 100%. Let's move on. I think we're both in the same mindset. I do want to talk about this 6-women tag team match. Becky Lynch, Lita, Trish Stratus versus Damage Control. We got Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. Not a bad first year for those for the Damage Control faction, right? We saw they came out at SummerSlam last year. It hasn't been the greatest booking. It hasn't been the worst booking, but if there's at least they were consistently winning or consistently losing. They were consistently a group. They were consistently on TV. I like all three of them, and I think WWE, because again, this is one of those matches where it's just like there's not that much for me to say. I think Damage Control has to win. I think the Trish Stratus heel turn happens at WrestleMania.
Do you see a heel turn for Trish working in 2023?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. I think, the thing is with Becky, I think people still like Becky Lynch. I think Trish Stratus, yeah, because, here's the thing. Becky Lynch has a very interesting gimmick in WWE. One day she's the man, the next day she's big time Bex. It's very easy for people to kind of get annoyed with this gimmick, to be honest. It's really easy for people to kind of be like, all right, it's over and done with. Trish Stratus, I feel like, is skilled enough to the point where when she turns on Becky, it will actually get people to be like, damn, that's messed up. But also at the same time, too, it could be a situation where it might be forced. It just depends how they deliver it, right? Because if they don't deliver it in a good way, people are like, okay, well, whatever.
If they go 2005 heel Trish,
yeah,
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Because that was my favorite era of Trish as far as character-wise. When she wasn't the eye candy or the pointing baby face, that was my favorite era of Trish when she was in 2004, 2005 heel.
Yeah.
So,
the sad thing about this, though, and I hate this so much, is the story shouldn't be about Trish turning heel. The story should be about Damage Control winning. The story should always be about Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. I just think that's such an important thing. Like WWE, again, it's like the reset, right? Like this is your reset.
Do you think that Damage Control just wins clean and then have Trish turn as like when Becky trying to give a moment of respect and she's just annoyed with Becky, and then then you start to turn that way? That way Damage Control can have their moment, and then the story starts with Trish and Becky, not necessarily have Trish turn during the match, because that would, like you said, that would take away from Damage Control.
You're 100%
in need of a big win, because they've lost pretty much every big match since forming. Yeah. They lost their War Games.
Yep.
They've lost, like Bayley was losing to Bianca left and right in every big match that she had. Damage Control, they had the tag team titles, but booking wise, they didn't do jack anything with it. So it's like, I would say have Damage Control get that big moment, have them win. You can be underhanding or whatever, but just at their own hands.
Yeah. And
then have, as Becky try to give a show of respect between the two legends, have Trish turn and then start a program that way. Yeah. That leads into SummerSlam.
I mean, the right way to do it is have them win clean. Establish them truly as dominant, right? You could even do, and it would be fun to do this. I don't think this would happen, but it would be fun to have, I read something and I talked about it last night a little bit, but Roxanne Perez. I would love to see this happen with Roxanne Perez getting called up to the main roster as a heel. And I know it just sounds so weird and random, but it would be, yeah, man, because she's such a sweetheart, cute smile, bubbly personality. I think we've seen that type of personality trait in WWE so often, where it's like, I don't want her to be established that way on the main roster. It'd be really cool for her to like join Damage Control. And again, I'm not saying this will happen, but I just want you to imagine this idea where Damage Control is winning the match, everything's clean, the women shake hands. Imagine Trish doesn't turn heel at WrestleMania, but Trish Stratus is definitely looking at Becky and Bayley. Becky and Lita, and like, oh, it's their fault we lost. They're teasing it. It's the subtle teases. Damage Control wins clean. They shake hands. Bayley and Damage Control start getting beat up. Roxanne comes out and makes the save. And I know it just sounds like this really like far-fetched, crazy idea. To some people, it might even sound silly, but imagine somebody like Roxanne or maybe Zoe Stark or somebody from NXT coming out and aligning with Damage Control. It doesn't even have to be Roxanne. But imagine the baby faces, like they're about to get their ass beat. They come back. They actually end up getting the upper hand on the heels. somebody comes to make the save. You know, I mean,
it could work, but do you risk the chance of the crowd not reacting because
they don't know who they are?
A lot of people don't know who these people are. So that's what I'm saying. You can probably move that to Raw at the Mania because they're trying to make Raw at the Mania a big show. I don't know, it hasn't really been a big show for the past few years.
Oh.
But like they made that as a big show and have them have a continuation segment and then have a debut.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying like when it happens at WrestleMania, outside of the hardcore people that are going to be there, you're probably going to get a little to no reaction if someone they don't know pops up. That's what I'm saying. That works, but then it doesn't work from a presentation point of view because that's been my gripe with a lot of these returns to WWE. A lot of people haven't really been reacting to the way that I feel like they should to these people, and it's mainly on the company for not really introducing these people the right way.
Google, bro, go ahead and Google this shit.
Trust me, I Google.
Nah, listen.
From people who watch the show, they be like, who?
I think my point is if we really want damage control, and it doesn't matter how they do it, they could do it a variety of ways. It could be a clean finish, it could be a shitty finish, it could be a great finish, it could be whatever kind of finish.
You mentioned Rocks. What about Cora Jade?
Like Cora Jade's cool, but she's injured. So
is she?
Yeah, she's injured. I mean, she could be clear now, but she was injured. So I look at somebody like Cora Jade getting called up. I think automatically being aligned with damage control would be cool just because, one of the big complaints right now is women's wrestling doesn't really have this major storyline. And you look at the bloodline and what they've done, it could easily be replicated with the women. They just don't have groups. So imagine damage control came in with a heel Roxanne or Cora Jade or Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark kind of struggles with the character aspect of things, but she could be a really good wrestler. And, again, you're right. In terms of reaction, it's probably not going to get a reaction. Maybe you do that after WrestleMania, but it would be cool to see something happen post-match, whether it's the Trish Stratus heel turn, if they want to throw everybody for a loop and have Becky Lynch join Damage Control. That'd be something. Listen, Roman Reigns runs the bloodline, I'm just saying I would be up for anything to spice things up here. So
you want something to let you sink your teeth into, basically.
Yes, like, that's all I'm saying. Maybe the ideas that I've positioned, maybe I didn't articulate it well enough. I don't know. But I just need to see something happen here that gets me really excited. Otherwise, I don't really care for Trish Stratus and Lita being back on TV in 2023. I'm over the legends coming back. But you know what? If it got me to the point where somebody like Roxanne, who I think is a great babyface, were to immediately jump into the main roster and then get into a program with Trish and Lita, man, that's beneficial for them. And I'm just throwing out some names. I mean, there's other people in NXT, obviously. Indy Hartwell's another one. Yeah, in terms of reaction at WrestleMania, it probably wouldn't be a big thing. But
you can do the surprise part where people that you can turn that negative into a positive where them not knowing is a good thing because they won't take away from the moment. And then after WrestleMania, you introduce her with a backstage vignette with Damage Control.
I wouldn't hate this idea, actually. This is kind of crazy. It just popped up in my head, so hopefully I could word this correctly. But what if you have somebody completely masked up in a hoodie, attacks them, walks out up the ramp, you never see them, and for weeks, who is the person under Damage Control? You use the voice disguise,
go the whodunit route. That's what I'm saying. That can keep you intrigued. So that's what I'm saying. It's so many ways. This is up to like someone in the chat just said. It's up to WWE to make you know who this person is.
I see some people in the chat mentioning Mia Yim would be perfect in this role. I actually would be cool with that too.
They're not doing anything with OC right now because AJ's injured. So I wouldn't be against it either.
Just something. I need something out of this match. I don't care what it is, bro. I swear to God, I don't care what it is. It's just got to be something because otherwise I feel like, okay, whatever. Like, nonetheless.
I picked Damage Control. I don't think I gave my pick, but I picked Damage Control for the win.
Yeah, Damage Control is my pick too. Let's keep it moving. We got Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins. This one's easy as hell. I'm not really going to sit here and talk too much about this, honestly. Seth Rollins. Logan Paul. This is going to be a banger of a match. The crowd, the entrances, it's going to be cool.
I believe his contract is up after...
Yeah, after WrestleMania. I talked about it in a video today, so if you guys are watching this live or on demand, check it out. because I talk about Logan Paul's contract situation. I think he'll ultimately stay in the WWE. At least I hope so. But either way, whether he signs or doesn't sign, there's no reason why Logan Paul should be beating Seth Rollins. This should be a, hey, Seth, we're sorry that we had you lose to Cody. Please go out there and have a hell of a WrestleMania match. Matches that could have a really good bill plus a really good payoff is this match right here.
We had you lose to Cody with a purple tit.
Yeah. That's crazy, too.
No arm. And you still lost. So, here. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Here you go.
It's going to be sick to see the WrestleMania crowd sing Seth Rollins' song, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Like, that's what I'm saying. This nothing too much you can go in with this match. Like, the build has just been, it's like social media exchange. Then Logan eliminated Seth at the Royal Rumble, cost him the U.S. title in Elimination Chamber. It's stuff like that. And then, obviously, I'm pretty sure Seth doesn't like the kid in real life. You don't have to like anybody to work with them and have a good match. So, this will be a fun match. But yeah, I'm definitely picking Seth.
What do you think Logan Paul is going to do that absolutely blows everybody's mind? Because every match so far, he's done something that's really transcended the game. He's really done well.
He's done the recording himself doing the frog splash through the announce table.
Yeah,
he's athletic as hell.
The spot with Ricochet was crazy. And
that spot that threw me off because I was literally watching live and it caught me off guard. But that's the beauty behind it. You don't know what this kid's going to do.
Yeah,
and you don't know what Seth Rollins is going to ask him to do. So hopefully it's something that'll have us talking about for a good period of time. You can't predict this match as far as what they're going to do in the match, but you just know it's gonna knock it out of the park. I'm not gonna say it's gonna steal the show from me. Yeah. But it's going to be up there where I'm probably going to give it high praise.
I've learned to not count Logan Paul out in WWE.
Oh, definitely.
And now he's a heel, which, by the way, I think people are realizing, dude, this guy's going to be the ultimate bad guy in this match. Like, I think he's going to draw some serious heat. I can't wait to see how the crowd reacts.
Oh, they're going to boo. Trust me. They do not like that dude.
I seen Big MGM. Shout out to Big MGM. He's been showing out on this chat for a while now. And Big MGM says, shot in the dark, but Logan hits the Phoenix Splash.
He can do it.
I think he could do it, and the best part is the significance of that tied to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins getting hit with it, everybody's reaction would be insane. I would love to see some form of 450 splash or a Phoenix Splash. I want to see Seth and Logan do some crazy stuff, but ultimately, no matter what, I don't care what anybody says. There is nobody in this world that can convince me that Seth Rollins should lose to Logan Paul.
No. Seth Rollins should win, and then if they decide to split the world titles, he should be next in line for a world title reign in 2023.
100%. And I do have another prediction for Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, but we will have to hold on to that till the very, very main event because you just talked about the championship thing, and I got some ideas. I got some things brewing. I got some things in my mind that might be pretty good. But with that being said, my pick is Seth Rollins. I don't think there's anything else for me to say.
Okay, cool. Yep.
All right, cool. Now, the next match. I know, God dang it, Twitter's going to hate me, bro. Omos and Brock Lesnar.
Homo sapiens.
Oh, my God. I'm so geeked for this match, dude. I'm so geeked. I honestly, I get why the IWC rejects somebody like Omos because he's a giant and he's not doing 450 splashes and shit. But this man right here, we have seen him get so much better. He's in the ring with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is looking incredibly fun in the ring with Omos. He's like jumping. It's like 2005, Brock. What was it? 2002, whatever it was.
2002, 2003.
Yeah. Bro, Brock Lesnar's jumping around and he's trying to take him down and he's struggling. I don't know. To me, this has a lot of potential to be a fun match. It's only,
it's probably gonna be 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Brock Lesnar's gonna F5 Omos. I don't think there's really anything other than that. Unless Brock Lesnar leaves WWE, then he's doing the job to Omos, which is a possibility. That is a possibility. Wow. He could be leaving, but I don't think that's the case. I think Brock Lesnar stays. I think Brock is a WWE guy, but I think the visual of Brock Lesnar F5ing Omos is absolutely insane. And It's going to be a short match, but, Gresh. I don't know, man. For the last year, we've been seeing the tease of a new Hurt Business. I don't know. I think we see it. I think Brock Lesnar wins, but right after, Omos gets right to back up, starts beating the shit out of Brock Lesnar. You know, I think this is one of those things where Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, it's back. It's the Hurt Business. And then we get Backlash. We get Bobby Lashley versus Lesnar, the final match in their storyline. Heel Bobby Lashley is 100% confirmed at that point because obviously the Hurt Business would be heels, but I'm totally cool with that. I think WWE made the wrong decision. I feel like Lashley versus Lesnar should have been saved for WrestleMania. That's not the route that they went. They went with Omos and Lesnar instead. But if I'm the WWE, I think this match is going to be fun. We'll see some cool things from Omos. We get the F5. Omos gets back up, and post-match, him and Lesnar, they keep scrapping, you know? Just overall scrap. And then, yeah.
Homo sapiens rise.
But Omos, man, that dude, yeah, he I think I was a fan of him ever since his appearances on Up Up Down Down. For those who don't know what that is, that's Xavier Woods' YouTube channel on YouTube. But really, in reality, it's like with this, if there is a possibility of a new Hurt Business, as much as I love Bobby in the Hurt Business, logically, I wouldn't put him in it.
Who would you have instead?
I'm probably going with the new route. I would probably bring somebody new to the table, like someone who they can put the future behind. And the reason why I say that, because I'm a big fan of the babyface route that they're going with Bobby.
Yeah.
And after MVP turned on him last year, I wouldn't see Bobby forgiving MVP that much unless they want to go that route and just have a little friction before they inevitably reunite and just go that way and tell a long story with it. But if there is a new version of Hurt Business and they don't put Bobby in it, I would probably put somebody new. Maybe, I guess I would have, if I didn't want Carmelo Hayes to win the NXT title at Stand and Deliver, I would have put him in it. Yeah. But I need them to put somebody new in there that makes sense. I can't really, it's like I don't know who, but I wouldn't put Bobby right away, if that makes sense. Because I want them to be a little friction, because I want him to remember, like, yo, you turned on me for this man. You want me to trust him now?
Yeah. Don't forget though, the storyline so far, some people are forgetting, but remember, Lashley did clear the air with MVP backstage. They dapped up, but at the same time too,
he didn't clear the air with Omos.
He didn't clear the air with Omos, so that's another point. And just because he cleared the air a little bit with MVP, he said they were on good terms for now, but he was not interested in joining whatever was going on. He did make that clear as of right now. However, they keep teasing things in the background of these segments where it kind of looks like they might be going that direction with Lashley being part of the Hurt Business. I'll say this. If Lashley's part of the Hurt Business, I'm 100% okay with it. However, Omos being part of the Hurt Business and then the rest of it's the original members, like, that's cool. But, like, how is this going to be different than the original Hurt Business? You know?
Another point.
We were talking earlier about Edge and Finn Balor. It's like, well, yeah, going back to the Demon for Finn Balor is cool, but, like, how is this going to be different? Like, how is it going to be better? That's how I feel about the Hurt Business 2.0. So I want to see something new. I want to see something different. Obviously, what often gets brought up is Montez Ford and the Street Profits. I see a lot of people.
Do you think they do the heel turn with the Street Profits and have them join? Because the Street Profits have never been healed in WWE ever.
Imagine. So
babyface.
I guess it depends when this match happens, right? Street Profits. Let's say the Street Profits tag team match happens night 1, and then Omos and Lesnar is like night 2. It would be cool because Street Profits get that massive babyface pop, the entrance and everything, only for them to show up the next night as the bad guys. That'd be kind of sick, honestly.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to do something completely different, I would totally be okay with Lashley and the Street Profits and MVP and Omos. I know some people in the past, and I hate that they say this because, I mean, it's like the Carmelo Hayes and NXT thing. You know, we got to see what happens with that championship match. But also, I really, 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 really like Trick Williams. I do not want Trick Williams and Carmelo to be split up, but I don't want them tag teaming. I just want them as boys, as homies, like coming through, supporting each other, you know, for each other's matches and shit. So I think there's a really cool idea that WWE can work with here, but I just think no matter what happens, Omos should lose, but at the end of the day, Omos should look good. And I think by doing so, you do that with the Hurt Business.
Trust me, he will, because in his loss to Braun Strowman in the Saudi show, that opened a lot of people's eyes on Omos. They was like, yo, where's this Omos been? I'm like, y'all was over here trying to write this man off, but if you actually paid attention and actually let him work, that's literally what he'll do. Like, he's not out here trying to do these 450 splashes and these sentons and these topes like he's Keith Lee. He knows he's a giant. He knows he's big as hell. He can't do everything that everybody can do. He's just going to play his strengths, and he's going to talk trash, and he's going to fight you. He's going to make you work to fight him, and then Brock is going to do what he does, and he's going to put over the reunited faction of Hurt Business. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like you said, if it's the original Hurt Business and Omos, it got to be different, or they just got to introduce they got to flip the tables and have a whole new tag team. Have Omos be the special attraction, because that's what he is. He's a special attraction, and have whomever they want as the center, whether it's Bobby Lashley, whether it is if however they go with the NXT title match, if it's Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams joining as like a entourage, I'm all for it. Because that's the thing about the Hurt Business this go around. They can literally not make it. They can make the faction take over the show.
Yeah. I want to see dominance here, bro.
Yeah, dominance. Like, let them take over the show. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So whether it's the Street Profits, that's the fantasy part about it, or or the original members, just make me relive the prominent of them with 2020 when they was dominating Raw. Yeah. Let that happen again. Yeah. That's all. And keep Omos as a special attraction, because you don't want to overdo him, because I'm not a fan of squash matches in the long term. Like, don't have him just there to have a squash match. Have him as a final boss, if you would. Yeah. That's all.
I'm with you 100%. I agree. The last thing I'll say about this, and it just to some credit for Omos, because again, I like to remind people, because I see the criticism for Omos, and we were talking about like the 450 splashes. He's not this wrestler, right? I remember watching Omos in the pandemic era when he was with Akira Tozawa,
the ninja.
Yeah. And just imagine how far this man has come from being in that comedy role where basically there was no emphasis on him at all, to now he is viewed as an attraction. I look at this and say, this guy's a big guy. We know that he's going to move differently. He's going to wrestle differently than other people. Mm-hmm. There is ways to make this guy booked strongly without having to do 1,000 consecutive squash matches. And he doesn't have to wrestle long matches, but if he's going to wrestle in a short match and he's going to lose, let him get in his stuff. Mm-hmm. So him against Lesnar should not be Lesnar going for F5 after F5 after F5. It should not be Goldberg versus Lesnar, you know, how it's like 3-minute match. What should happen here is Omos is dominating the entire match, and his character should be coming out, and MVP is excited and everything's crazy. Brock Lesnar gets up, hits him with the F5. Omos, literally, I know this sounds crazy, people might hate this, but Omos should kick out right at the 3 count.
Yeah. So Brock, the F5 is a protected move regardless if he kicks out at 3. It keeps him. He should go that old school classic 80s routes where they kick out at 4.
Yeah, bro. Like, dead ass. I think that would be sick. I feel like WWE at this moment in time, they protect Omos from losing. Lesnar gets the win. Omos kicks out. A little bit of frustration. Lesnar looks at him in the face, and Omos is like, bah, 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 beats the hell out of him. Hurt business. Going. Yeah, just keep it going. Yep. And then it's okay because it's a short match. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out process.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
that F5, that visual of the F5 is going to be sick, though.
but yeah, both of us picked Brock.
Yeah, we picked Brock. Easy money on that one. My next match I want to talk about, Asuka versus Bianca Belair. I love both of these women. I think both of them are great. I think Bianca is a hell of a talent. I think we need to see some change with Bianca Belair, unfortunately, at this point.
The build.
Yeah.
My
it's
God.
And for that reason, I usually say, like, with matches that don't have a great build, I don't think they should have a title change. However, I'm kind of walking back on my own belief here. I think Asuka should win. But that's only because I do think
Bianca turns.
I think she turns heel. I think she turns heel, and I think it happens on Raw after WrestleMania. I think that's one of the big surprises. So
to be honest with you, we haven't had a heel Bianca since NXT.
And even that too, I don't even know if that, like, I don't know if I'd really say that's like a true heel. You know what I mean?
Oh, she was a heel. Oh, trust me, she was a heel.
Nah, like,
heel.
I know.
You talking about like full throttle? Like,
I want to see Bianca Belair because she's so talented. I want to see her go the Roman Reigns route
and just change her whole presentation.
She should be the final boss of the women's division. The final boss.
But that means I think
I know the only way that works is if she wins.
She's still the champion. That's the only way that works.
You can't, bro. She's held the title for so damn long. You have to have her lose. You have to have her regroup.
And have her snap.
Have her snap. You know what? We got Damage Control as a faction. We got Lita and Trish as a group with Becky. Let's just say everybody stays in their own respective groups. You want compelling wrestling. You want compelling storylines in the women's division. All right. Who are some underutilized talents or people in NXT or people on Raw and SmackDown who could benefit from being in a group right now? Bianca Belair, if she wants to have a heel group, she can do it. If you want to have a female version of the Hurt Business, you can do it. I would love to see something happen. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not going to pinpoint specifics. I would just like to see a change.
I'm about to say, so here's my counterpoint. If Asuka wins, she has to be the final boss.
I know.
That's the thing. That's the only thing is. The reason why I say that is because Asuka has been somewhat, I wouldn't say, ever since she lost her streak, they didn't know what the heck to do with her.
Yeah.
As far as, like, this is a repackage of Asuka.
Yeah.
If she wins the Raw Women's title on whichever night they have her on, whether it's night 1, night 2, she needs to be built as the final boss. And Bianca, she does need to turn heel, but if I was them and there is a draft, I would put her on a different brand and have her take over that brand. We need Asuka to be a final. The reason why I say that because you don't have because if you make Bianca the final boss, then what's the point of taking the title off of her?
Yeah,
because she would need to be the champion. Whomever is, to me, and this is just me, whomever is built as the final boss of the women's division needs to be champion.
Yeah,
but it needs to be a final boss build, not how they're doing Charlotte Flair.
Correct.
It needs to be emotional. It needs to be engaging. It needs to be some depth to it, whether you add aesthetics to it. And hey, you know how we mentioned Hurt Business? If they were to turn Bianca heel, let Hurt Business represent Bianca. And have a female in the group.
Yo. I need everybody in the chat to drop Ango 316 emojis right now. Those emotes, I need to see those put to work right now because Gresh just dropped a bomb. Holy shit. I'm in.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what?
If Bianca were to turn heel and they bring back the Hurt Business, let her be the first female group that be represented by MVP. That's all I'm saying.
You know, we've been talking.
The entire aesthetics.
We talked about Lashley running the Hurt Business. All right. I got an idea. I got a wonderful idea. Ready? Let's put this together, okay? This is what I do. Bianca loses at WrestleMania. This is my pick. This is Ango snapping real quick. Bianca loses at WrestleMania clean to Asuka. Okay? Backstage on Raw, you see MVP because we already saw the new Hurt Business tonight, right? Or on the same night, we see the Hurt Business, the Omos, and whoever joins. Maybe it's Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, right? It could make sense. Backstage, you see MVP talking to Bianca Belair and hands her a business card. There's a backstage interview or something. He hands her a business card. Now we start teasing, because Bianca hasn't turned heel yet. Now throughout TV, you start teasing, what's happening in the background? What is happening with Bianca? And then eventually you see her join the Hurt Business. It's her group. She's promised. She's not in the group. She's the group. She runs the group with MVP.
So that means you don't add, and that could be a way to not add Lashley if they don't want to go that route.
Correct.
Have Bianca as the prominent fixture in the feature of the group. And before people say, "Oh, you're just throwing all the black people together," the business behind the motive behind Hurt Business is money and success.
Yep.
Bianca lost. Yep. In order for her to regain her success and her money, she goes the Hurt Business route alongside Montez Ford and the Street Profits.
Yep.
There you go. And that literally can build, and you can eventually build a War Games match between the Hurt Business and whatever babyface faction you want on down the line. So much you can literally build an entire year's worth of story on the Hurt Business on Raw.
And then think about this too, right? Like this would be a really cool point. Because of real life, they're married. Montez Ford and Bianca Belair are married. So
you can create a whole like vignette aesthetics of them living high and in charge.
Yeah,
part of the Hurt Business, living off the money and success of it. It's so much you can do with it. That's what I'm saying. So,
you remember Evolution, bro, and how cool it was when everybody was in their suits, and we haven't got something like that with the Hurt Business and Bianca Belair. So imagine she comes out in a beautiful dress, some bling. You got Montez Ford and Dawkins and MVP rocking some classy ass suits. They're coming through. But let me tell you where the storytelling gets really good, right? It shouldn't happen like this. You should see Montez Ford and Street Profits turn heel and join the Hurt Business, and Bianca's shocked. She doesn't know what's going on. In fact, oh my God, Triple H, hire me. Ready? Gresh, I'm about to drop something for you. So imagine this. I'm not joking. I want the timestamp for this because I'm clipping this. This is going to be clip worthy. I'm going to clip this. Let me do this. We are wait, hold on. I'm not joking. This is about to be insane. Freaking crazy ideas. 1:44, hour, 44 minutes. All right, ready? This is getting clipped. So this is what I do. Night 1, Street Profits. Perfect example. Night 1, Street Profits join, or I'm sorry, they're baby faces, right? They are baby faces. They end up they have their fatal 4-way match, right? So for those who don't understand what we talked about earlier in the stream, Street Profits enter night 1 as baby faces. Night 2, Omos loses to Lesnar. Hurt Business does a beatdown. It's the new improved Hurt Business with Street Profits being heel. So they walk into night 2 being heel. Bianca Belair lost her championship on night 1 of WrestleMania. Bianca Belair sees Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins beating up Brock Lesnar with the new Hurt Business, and you just got to get the perfect shot of Bianca Belair walking down the WrestleMania entrance ramp in disbelief that her husband is a bad guy. That right there then starts the new kickstart to Bianca Belair eventually joining the Hurt Business, because what you do is throughout several weeks of programming, you tease in backstage segments, MVP talking to Bianca Belair, trying to convince her in the background of these segments, trying to convince her to join the Hurt Business. Then, as time goes on, you see storylines with Montez Ford and Bianca Belair kind of having marital problems, right? Because he's a bad guy now, she's the good girl, and then eventually you get the massive, massive payoff, which is Becky. Why did I say Becky? Bianca Belair. You get that segment with Bianca Belair. She officially joins the Hurt Business. Everybody suited and booted. Bianca with a $20,000 dress. And now you start doing video packages. You kind of go Evolution-esque. You kind of go to the roots of the Hurt Business. Everybody's dominant. No Lashley. You got MVP, Omos, Street Profits, Bianca Belair. This is her group. She is the final boss in WWE. She eventually reclaims a Women's World Championship belt in the company. And that, my friends, is how you do a successful heel turn starting at WrestleMania. And I honestly don't script it better than that.
So would you keep Omos in the group, or this is MVP from him too?
I would keep Omos in the group.
As a special attraction still?
Yeah, for sure. I think...
I like the heavy of the group.
He doesn't have to... Yeah, he doesn't have to be wrestling all the time, but he's there. He has his boys back, you know. I hate to say this, but in comparison to AEW, Satnam Singh, guy barely wrestles, but he's there. He's the extra heavy part of the group.
Extra ecstatic of the group, basically.
Yeah.
Like if MVP sees his boys down, he says, "I'm finna break the glass." Omos.
Yeah.
Or however his interest music started, and then you hear that, and then everybody like, "Oh, snap."
And then I'll give you this much too. This would be really fun. Bianca Belair. Obviously, WWE doesn't do intergender wrestling, but Bianca Belair could be in a storyline. We'll say with Becky Lynch, as an example. Storyline with Becky Lynch. Well, Becky Lynch, no, here's the thing. Because Bianca Belair would be heel, you could do something really cool where Becky Lynch is backstage talking a whole bunch of shit about Bianca and her attitude and this and that. And then, the camera pans and you just see an 8-foot tall Omos standing over Becky, Obviously, he's not going to wrestle Becky, but the visual of him having Bianca's back, him having the Hurt Business's back, he's just there visually, so aesthetically.
That they have the Hurt Business's attention.
Yes.
Like if you see that big giant shadow of Omos,
yeah,
then shit about to get real.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it sounds all good in my head, but I'm just saying if you want to do it, this is a fun way.
That's what I'm saying. Like if they want to go that route of Bianca,
yeah.
But at the same time, if Asuka wins, she's still treated as a big deal.
100%.
Do not. And that could be a way, but since they just turned Asuka, they're probably just going to turn Asuka heel too. That could be a way of building towards that eventual Bianca heel turn.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to happen right away either, but you start teasing it at Mania.
Because Bianca is in a need of a slight change. I'm not saying, because I know a lot of people saying she's the John Cena of the women's division, and she might end up going there. She might end up in the situation where people just boo her or want to boo her because she's the forever good guy. But I'm just saying it's just something to spice it up a little bit. I'm not saying she should be a heel forever, but just something different, just to see how it'll look on a presentation standpoint.
Yeah. And she's just so talented, bro. She is. And character-wise, I think she could pull off pretty much anything. Also, too, I just thought about it, but Seth Rollins and Becky, you really want things to get heated? You really want Montez Ford doing some big things? You got mixed tag matches now. You got Miz and Maurice. I'm just saying, you have factions and groups and associations and all of these different things in WWE where it's like Bianca and Montez and Dawkins and MVP. They have so many people to work with if they go this route. So there's never going to be a shortage of storylines for them. And again, it's all about dominance. And again, it would be really cool to see a women lead a group. We saw what happened with Roman. If there's anybody who could lead a group, I don't want to see Charlotte do it. I don't want to see Rhea Ripley do it. Rhea Ripley's got the Judgment Day. Oh my God. Hurt Business versus Judgment Day in War Games. You got Rhea Ripley and there you go. See, like you got matches being set up though. Like you have things you can do with this. Bianca's such a great talent though. I do want to see some little change here, but
it's a minor change.
Yeah, but without a doubt, my pick is Asuka.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Asuka because they just repackaged her. She's basically WWE's version of Kana. Yep. So hopefully they just stick to it and they use this as a catalyst for a slight change in Bianca's character.
Yeah. And we talked about Balor too, getting like rehabbed. This is the rehab of Asuka.
Yeah, and the beauty behind Bianca's title reign though, she's the longest reigning black champion in WWE history, male or female. So she will always have that honor, and she's going full year as Raw Women's Champion. So more power to her. That's what I'm saying. She is not a bust by far, but it is time for a slight change. That's just for me. Like, if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Yeah. But it would be nice to see a slight change.
I'm geeked about this match though, because I think a lot of people are sleeping on this because the build hasn't been too great. But Asuka, Bianca, chef's kiss. It's going to be sick. I think this match is definitely one to pay attention to.
Most definitely.
Next match, we got Flair and Ripley. Ripley won the Royal Rumble. Impressive. Her build with Charlotte, not very impressive.
Until that, and they had one pull apart brawl, which kind of got me geeked, but it still wasn't enough to get me excited. For the match.
It goes back to what I was saying about Triple H and the women's division. It's just a struggle right now. A lot of things have been taking a back seat, and that's why the Bianca thing makes so much sense too, is because they really need that massive storyline for the women's division, so that helps. To me, this is a match where it'll be a great match wrestling wise. They'll have a really, really, really good match. I like both talent. They shouldn't They shouldn't main event at WrestleMania. That has to go to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn because that's the better story. Rhea Ripley needs to win this match, and I know they would never do this because it is Charlotte Flair, but I would love for WWE to swerve everybody and have this actually be a squash match. I know they would never do it because they respect Charlotte Flair too much to do it. Ric Flair would probably.
They probably wouldn't do it either because she hasn't really done anything since winning the title off of Ronda.
Yeah.
So it would literally be just another statistic in her title wins.
They padded the shit out of her title reigns, bro.
Oh, I can tell you right now, I only remember like 2 title reigns.
Yeah.
For her from her many titles, and that's her first NXT Women's title, and that's her back and forth with Sasha Banks in 2016.
Yeah.
That's it.
No.
Everything else has been there.
They're gonna have the chemistry. They're gonna kill it if they do a lengthy match, which is probably what is more than likely going to happen. Yeah,
the first match was good, even though it was during the pandemic, and all you heard was loud screaming.
Yo, I mean, you're right, but at the same time too, it's time for Charlotte to lose, and I like Charlotte. I know she gets a lot of flack on social media and stuff, but she is a good talent. I just think it's the same story with her over and over and over and over again. It's literally a cycle.
If someone needs to change, she needs a change.
She needs a change too. But the thing is, at this point, it's like she needs to change way more than Bianca Belair. By the way, Bianca Belair was carrying the women's division on her back, even without the title. Just so people have a clear understanding, she doesn't need. The thing about Bianca is she's so good with or without the championship. It doesn't really matter. But when she got that win over Becky, it really propelled her because it showed WWE how stupid they were to ever have Bianca lose so quickly, right? But Bianca showed with her own skill that she's good enough to be a champion, and without a championship around her waist, she could be good. Charlotte doesn't need a championship belt, for one. And two, the only thing I could ever say that's important about Charlotte in terms of storyline is if she doesn't have the championship, she's essentially a nobody. Like, honestly, I think that's facts. Like, I think if she's not holding the championship, what is Charlotte doing? So they keep padding those wins. At the end of the day, she desperately needs the change. I don't know how you change Charlotte Flair. That's not something I really want to do a deep dive of, but I will go ahead and say Rhea Ripley should win. I would love to see the swerve of her just squashing the shit out of Charlotte. But I don't think that's going to happen. But Rhea Ripley's my pick, and I don't have anything more to add than that.
Yeah, it's a double edge right there. I need to see Rhea win that title because she needs to get her win back from NXT when she lost the NXT Women's title. It derailed her. I don't care what nobody say. That loss derailed her booking when she was in NXT. She came up to Raw. Obviously, she was the Raw Women's Champion. She won championships since then, but it's just that one that she lost that kind of halted her fire because she was on fire before she lost that title in 2020. So, and now that she's on fire again, she has to win. She cannot lose.
Yeah.
It cannot be no falsy finish where it's a DQ and it's a rematch at Backlash. She needs to win.
My fear is that they're always going to try to protect Charlotte. So we're going to get shenanigans in this match. I don't want that to happen either.
If that happens, it'll be a bummer.
Yeah.
I won't lose sleep, but it needs to be. If it's not a squash, it needs to be. She needs to be the best. She needs to get the better of Charlotte. So both of us pick Rhea.
Okay, perfect. So I think we're good. We can move on. Sorry, ladies. It's not. We don't hate you. It's just, it's time to talk about Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Woo! Gresh. Hey, really quick, guys. I want to give a shout out to this man, Joshua Gresham. He has been absolutely killing it with these predictions. This has been so incredibly fun. But this is where the real fun starts. Just very quickly, I'm going to throw the exclamation point guest in the chat. Shout out to Nightbot. If you guys have not already subscribed or followed Josh Gresham, please do so right now. Please make sure you do, because We got it. This is fun. But things are about to really heat up. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. You guys saw the title of this prediction video. I'm not joking when I say you can make a massive splash here. But before I get into it, Mr. Gresham, give it to me. What you got?
2 years Roman Reigns has been Universal Champion. Undisputed Universal Champion for a year because he won the WWE title last year.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's time. It's time for him to drop those titles. It's time.
No, man.
It is time. And the reason why, I will say this and I will die on this hill, the story of a man who blames everything on everyone but himself, because he doesn't like to take responsibility, is going to be must-see TV. Because if you pay attention to the recent story that they've been telling with Roman Reigns, he's blaming everybody. He's blaming his bloodline being fractured when Jey Uso was somewhat out after the Royal Rumble on Sami Zayn. He's blaming his other problems on Solo Sikoa or Jimmy Uso. He said, if Jey isn't back in the bloodline, I'm going to not blame Sami. I'm going to blame you. His thing is he's blaming everybody but himself. So let's say set up Cody Rhodes. Incredible match, because we know this match is going to deliver. Every match that Roman has had for the past 2 years, in-ring wise, has been great to phenomenal. This match is going to deliver. And I see the bloodline eventually fracturing because let's be real, Roman is going to cheat. It's because he's a heel. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. So everybody's going to try to interfere. You're probably going to have the Usos try to interfere, and then Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens probably come out and run them off. You're going to probably have Solo Sikoa interfere. We don't know how they're going to react to Solo losing his undefeated streak on SmackDown. We don't know if he's going to say stay away from ringside or not. We're going to have Solo Sikoa interfere, and we're probably going to have somebody debut maybe to kind of balance Solo away from the ring, and then have Cody eventually win the title, or maybe 2 crossroads, because you know they're not going to have it just 1 crossroad. You know Roman's going to be protected.
Yeah.
And then I will die on this hill. The story of the bloodline is Roman Reigns becoming so obsessed with blaming everyone but himself that we're going to eventually have the blow off to the bloodline story at SummerSlam. But Roman loses those titles at WrestleMania. That's just me. That's my prediction. So I'm gonna let you have your prediction, my brother.
My brother. I respectfully disagree.
I know you were. I knew you were. You were.
All right.
That's the beauty behind it.
I know. I love this. I think you make very valid points. I don't think there's one thing I could sit here and be like, oh, that's stupid. I wouldn't do that. There's nothing wrong with what you said. With your opinion, I think, honest to God, like I truly believe this, that is not the wrong answer. If WWE decided to go that route, that is not the wrong answer.
All right. Since
Royal Rumble, since Cody returned, I have maintained the utmost belief that Cody Rhodes should lose at WrestleMania. 1,000,000%. He returned last year at WrestleMania, had a couple matches with Seth, got injured, randomly came back to Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble. I think I use the Bloodline storyline as an example. These long-term storylines are so incredibly impactful for people. Look at what happened with Dom and Rey and the Bloodline and all these people.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion is that Roman needs to win. Cody needs to lose, and the Cody Rhodes chase will be the next layer or next long-term story that has millions of layers. We're going to see a vulnerable Cody Rhodes chase the championship belt and eventually get the world championship belt. It just shouldn't happen at WrestleMania. I 1,000,000% believe that. However, this is where things get really crazy and chaotic because, yes, in my title of this prediction show, Jay White and Bullet Club in WWE, this is the craziest prediction I have ever made. But there is a lot of intrigue here. We are seeing the fall of the Roman Empire. It's happening. It begins. It's already begun. But now we get into chapter 2 of the story. Another long-term story. We saw the rise of the bloodline. Now the second chapter for another year is the fall of the Roman Empire. So how do we get there? Cody is arguably a very, very big baby face, and that is exciting. But we need Cody Rhodes to get away from the championship for a minute. We need Cody Rhodes to lose. We need Cody Rhodes to lose clean. Not clean in the sense of no involvement from Solo and everybody like that. They have to justify Cody losing, but in the ring, it's going to be a 1-2-3 pinfall from Roman Reigns. Solo Sikoa gets involved because Cody keeps saying that Solo Sikoa is not ready. That's the whole premise of their conversation. Solo Sikoa is not ready. That's bullshit. Solo Sikoa is ready. He's going to prove that to Cody when he costs him the match. Okay? But we need to get Cody away from the championship for a minute. So what we do, we start seeing some cracks in the bloodline. Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam will be the first part of that. Jey Uso loses to Roman Reigns. Okay? WrestleMania 40, headlined by Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa for the WWE Universal Championship. Solo Sikoa becomes the guy. He dethrones Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. I just gave you guys a year of booking. WWE, it's all free. Go ahead and do this because it's going to be magical. Another year of Bloodline storyline with Roman going to surpass 1,000 days. Easily, money. There's no issue with it. I have zero concerns. WWE can pull it off. Two things have to happen, though. Two things have to happen. You got to have Roman Reigns have the WWE Championship pulled away from him during the draft. It's logical. It makes sense. Adam Pearce says, hey, like you're holding both championship belts. USA Network executives want a champion on Raw. You're not showing up on Raw. Roman Reigns could do whatever. He could throw the championship belt in the trash. The next week, they can reveal the new WWE Championship. There you go. WWE Raw has the new championship belt that they supposedly approved from Triple H, right? So now Roman has the Universal Championship. Keep that forever. No big deal. Okay? But I said something about the Bullet Club and Cody Rhodes. You ready? You ready? I said this the other day. I put it out on Twitter. I'm manifesting this. Historically speaking, people who know about Jay White and Cody Rhodes will pop for this. People who don't know, it's okay because WWE is just going to create a massive moment and it's going to be their job to explain the story on Raw or SmackDown after. Cody Rhodes was this close to winning the WWE Championship. Solo Sikoa cost him the championship. After WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes, looking at the crowd in disbelief, this close to being the champion, the championship belt that his father never won. He's thanking everybody for showing up, you know, waving, clapping, bowing, taking a bow. Gets the living shit beat out of him from some mystery attackers who reveal themselves to be Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows and Jay White. And I think it was 2018 or 2019, Vince McMahon and Triple H had proposed to the Bullet Club entirely, the entire group, that they would sign with WWE before going to AEW. They would sign to WWE and they would do a storyline that started at WrestleMania that would lead throughout the summer, which was Bullet Club's takeover. You need to get Cody Rhodes away from the WWE Championship picture for now. Just for now. So what I do is this. Jay White and the club, they take out Cody Rhodes. This big, beautiful heel moment to close night 2. This is fantasy booking as much as fantasy booking is going to get, but this is like a very realistic possibility. And if you're Jay White and you're looking at signing with AEW or WWE and this gets pitched to you, there's no way you turn down a crazy contract worth a lot of money and this massive storyline. Because when Jay White and the club take out Cody Rhodes, that begins the Bullet Club invasion. We talked about the Demon Finn Balor earlier today. We talk about AJ Styles, who's injured. Eventually, because layers to a storyline, they will eventually shift, and then we'll have a power struggle and a Bullet Club angle eventually.
Okay.
Who will prevent Cody Rhodes from getting the WWE Championship when the draft happens and the belts are split? The Bullet Club, the OC. Jay White. You have a storyline with Jay White and Cody Rhodes. You do all of these different things, right? And then what you do is you have Seth Rollins become the next champion for WWE Championship. WrestleMania 40. Night 1. By that point in time, Jay White will have already defeated Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. We get that massive match. You have Seth Rollins lose the title to Jay White, maybe by Royal Rumble, maybe by Survivor Series. I don't know. By some pay-per-view, it happens. Jay White eventually wins the belt from Seth. We get that massive, massive, massive dream match that everybody's been talking about. Then what you do is you have Cody Rhodes versus Jay White at WrestleMania 40. This is the triumphant return of Cody Rhodes, the vulnerabilities, the actual chase for a championship, not just winning the Royal Rumble, but he actually goes down in history as one of the greatest of all time by accomplishing this massive feat. He wins the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row with no hesitation. That night, he calls out Jay White and says, "I'll see you at WrestleMania." WrestleMania 40, Cody Rhodes defeats Jay White. He finally wins the WWE Championship. And on top of that, you still have this incredible storytelling, and then you have Solo Sikoa dethroning Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. Everybody benefits.
Would you do Solo, or would you flip it and have the story end with how it started and have Jey Uso finally win the Universal title? Because
I love Jay. But
that's what I'm saying. No?
Solo Sikoa. NXT 2.0. That's WWE's slap in the face to absolutely every single person that said NXT is not good for business, because they're going to show you firsthand how they took somebody from NXT 2.0 and turned them into a star. And he's the singles guy, right? The Usos are always a tag team guy. Solo isn't.
Yeah. I'm about to say the only way I would say a plot hole in your story is where would AJ fit in?
So there's layers to that, right? That's Now, if WWE wants me to tell them what to do with AJ, they got to pay me. I just gave them some free heat, bro. They got to start paying me those, dude. Look, one day I'm on Tony Khan's payroll, the next day I'm on Triple H's. Okay? So,
and whoever says that's a bad thing, as long as the check is getting your bank account, when you become an adult in today's society, getting a check from either a major wrestling company, either way, is a win. I don't care what nobody says. If they want to line my pockets, I would gladly take that check. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's AEW, WWE, MLW, Impact. I don't care.
Yeah.
If like that whole joke where they're like, "Oh, I'm on payroll." Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to be real honest with you, bro. This is what I do right here, because you mentioned AJ. Where does AJ fit? AJ is always going to be like, they're going to try to convince AJ to join. Maybe AJ's not interested in the club. Maybe there is a whole bunch of stories with that. It's WWE's job realistically, though, to figure it out with AJ, because AJ was part of the OC. I mean, they can have him in the OC with Jay White. And then eventually, after WrestleMania 40, if you really, really want, if you want to do what they typically do in the Bullet Club, which is change leaders and stuff, I mean, you can do that. But I genuinely believe, and I could be wrong, but I genuinely believe Jay White is headed to WWE. I really do. And I think, Nick Khan said it today on The Herd. WWE has months and months of creative planned ahead. And I think some people probably don't agree or think that's realistic. I think that's realistic. I think that's true. I think WWE, it sounds like super fantasy bookish, and like, people will try to get their whole, hopes up with stuff like this. But man, I look at the storyline and I just think WrestleMania 40, Cody versus Jay White, and that's how Cody finally gets the championship. Jay White is guaranteed a WWE championship run. He's the one who gets to beat Seth Rollins. Oh, and by the way, WWE's not just having the outsider win right away. No, because Seth Rollins would be the first WWE champion after Roman. There's a lot of great things you can do with this. And everything I'm fantasy booking right now, just to be very clear, look how many people benefit from it. AJ, the club, Jay White, immediately brought in as a big deal. Cody Rhodes, immediately. I guarantee you, people would say Cody Rhodes is buried. Mark my words, I will definitely clip this shit in WrestleMania 40. If this actually happened and Cody wins at WrestleMania 40, I look like a genius, bro. Because that's not meant, him losing at WrestleMania doesn't mean he's buried. Now, when I told you I don't disagree with anything you say, I disagree with your pick because I want Cody to lose, because look at how much more gratifying this would be for Cody to win at WrestleMania 40 when you go through the storyline.
I think the reason why I went with that pick is because I really want to see Roman go in depth with his character. I'm
Yes.
speaking from a character point of view.
Yes.
I'm not really speaking from a title because he's been champion for 2 years, and I've enjoyed every moment. But I'm trying to tell you, even though there's money with what you're saying, there's also money in a titleless in savage Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
that's just the only reason why I went that route. I want to see Cody with the chase. I want him in the chase, like an actual chase to the title. But if I'm looking at from their point of view, they want Cody to be the next guy and they just go full throttle. I don't want Roman to just fall off the face of the earth.
it won't.
I need him to snap.
Yeah,
That's
my
the
friend.
only reason why I did that pick is I want him to snap.
Yes. See, I want him to snap too. But remember, we're talking about the fall of the Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
He will snap. With that match against Jey Uso can't win. I'm sorry. I love Jey Uso. This guy deserves, what is it, Emmy Awards, Grammy Award, whatever they call it. Whatever award that they give for actors.
Yeah.
He should be getting the award. He's absolutely killed it. And again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about eating my words on the Usos. They are so good. Their characters have been so good. Roman needs to obliterate Jey Uso. He really needs to. Only so it could be more impactful for when Solo Sikoa is the one who dethrones him. Because now you got brotherhood against Roman. Roman's their cousin. The tribal chief is their cousin, but the brothers, you cannot stop brothers. At the end of the day, they're going to come first. Their relationship comes first. So if I'm looking at the fall of the Roman Empire, I can make that story drawn out for a year. I can write it. I can submit it to WWE right now, and I can have every single thing detailed to a point that a video or a live stream I wouldn't be able to cover because of time. But you can make it happen, and when he snaps, it shouldn't happen until SummerSlam. They need to keep teasing it. They need to show some more cracks in the bloodline. But then at WrestleMania 40, when he loses to Solo Sikoa, oh my God, you are literally changing the way WWE is perceived, because WWE at that stage of the game, putting over talent, rehabbing talent that have been damaged. These are things that I'm talking about. People don't understand how important storytelling is until WWE did the Bloodline story. Like, it made people realize, like, holy shit, you can make a huge theatric out of all of this. Mm-hmm. Why does it have to end? Why is there a time limit? Why are people saying, oh, it has to end at WrestleMania 39?
That's the beauty behind it, though. And I'm not saying the storyline should end.
Yeah,
I'm giving you a different layer.
Yeah,
you're giving a different layer.
Of course, and that's why I said I don't disagree. That's why I said you're not wrong by any means. You're definitely not wrong. I don't know what the hell I just said. My mind blanked out. You're definitely not wrong. You're definitely gonna. Yo, I swear to God, that's how you know you've been streaming too long. You're definitely not wrong with your prediction. Like, that's not a bad idea. But what I'm just trying to say is now you have
add more layers to it.
Add more layers, and then the cool thing is you're adding layers to both shows, right? Because that's a solution that a lot of people don't realize. When Roman Reigns does drop the championship belt, there is a brand split. He cannot appear on Raw and SmackDown. So what is Raw's major storyline going to be that doesn't involve the Bloodline? The Bloodline has been carried over for both shows for the last 2 years, and more predominantly on SmackDown. So now you're taking that same level of crafting a story and doing it on Raw. And it's cool because you see how things happened in the last 2 years. Now you look at the next year, so many people benefit from it. I don't know. Like, maybe there is something wrong with me in my head, but there's something about that.
No, that's the beauty behind it. You don't know. You don't know where they're going to go.
Yeah.
But either outcome isn't a bad outcome.
Yeah.
Like how we've been saying with a lot of these matches, this is one of those main matches where the outcome doesn't affect how we view the story.
Yeah.
Because there's so much depth in the Bloodline story. There's so much layers you can create with a Cody comeback story. Not a forced, quote unquote, story, redemption story from the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, but like finish the story, as Michael Cole likes to scream on commentary. Yep. Finish the story at WrestleMania 40 and win that WWE Championship. Because Cody ain't going nowhere. Win, lose, draw, he ain't going nowhere. He is here. He is the man. He is the top dog. He is one of the biggest, and he is their next coming of John Cena as far as the genuine good guy that people want to cheer for. Because every time people online with these podcasts always say, "Oh, they're going to turn on Cody," that whoa in his theme song,
Yeah.
the crowd gets louder every single week. So Cody isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, it goes to show you the Twitter, like, and
Twitter's
it's
like a bubble.
it's a bubble that I'm telling you right now, it don't really mean shit in the overall optics of WWE because
About to break anyway because Elon about to break it. So it's like,
oh, dude, yeah. Don't even get me started on that. Yeah. But nah, it's crazy because the more and more that I think about it, it's like Jay White being in WWE, it makes sense. And the cool thing is, for every person that's like, oh, WWE is gonna bury Jay White if he signs to WWE, they're gonna change his name and the Switchblade's gonna be this, and oh well, it's WWE's job to explain Jay White. Mother effer, they're gonna do an invasion angle. It's an invasion angle. You don't have to know anybody. You have to give it a chance. You got to let them tell stories. Jay White showing up in WWE will get a pop at WrestleMania. There's a lot of people traveling, you know, and the cool thing is Cody Rhodes losing, and that's why I love the copyright trick, right? You think the show is over. You think the show is freaking over, and Cody Rhodes is right there, and it just, man, he couldn't get the freaking job done, and it looks like it's the end of Cody Rhodes. Oh my God, he just got taken out. Now you have another year of good storytelling for Raw. You have another good storyline for SmackDown. And the cool thing is you don't know how it's going to go down. There's things that people will get to see that maybe they didn't expect to see from WWE. Oh, and by the way, your name is MJF. Your name is Ricky Starks. Your name is Jade Cargill. Your name is Wardlow. And you just looked at WWE do something massive with Jay White and Cody Rhodes, 2 WrestleManias in a row. And my friends, that right there is the sign where you're like, all right, I don't want to be wrestling on AEW Dark. I don't want to be doing meaningless shit on television. I want to be in big storylines. I want to be treated like a big deal. I want to be in a company that's crafting very, very awesome moments in history. It's in the history books at that point. We're not talking about good wrestling storylines. We're talking about stories that would transcend the wrestling business forever. Because 2 years ago, no, scratch that. When did Triple H take over? SummerSlam? SummerSlam, roughly around SummerSlam? So It's probably been like 9 months, 10 months, right? If you go back before that, WWE was not crafting this type of television. This storyline that I'm predicting and the stuff that I'm talking about here that I'm fantasy booking, I'm just being honest. I would never be able to come up with this if Vince McMahon was booking it. Maybe I would have, but I would not think that deeply about it because Vince McMahon, I would be like, it's so unrealistic. But Triple H has shown us that a lot of things that are unrealistic are actually very realistic. So I think a lot of people are looking at this and being like, man, like WWE's overall business model would be huge. And you know what? I was tweeting about Nick Khan talking about paying for pay-per-views. And I was like, I ain't paying for a pay-per-view. Like, F all that shit because I'm not spending $70 on a pay-per-view plus $10 a month for Peacock, you know? But I will tell you this. If WWE, and for example, I'll only say Big Four because there's no way I'm paying for every monthly pay-per-view.
That's what I'm talking about.
But if there was a Big Four, if there was a charge for Big Four pay-per-views and WWE was doing everything I just fantasy booked and that storytelling is that good, I'll pay for it, no problem. I have no issues with that.
The only way I would see myself paying $50 or $70 is if it's a Big Four. But like if they're going with their old business model, like a pay-per-view every month, no.
Yeah.
Especially if it's the same month as AEW doing their pay-per-views, and that's $100 on pay-per-views a month.
Yeah.
No.
and we're not the only people thinking like that, by the way. There's a lot of people who would be like, no.
Oh no. As soon as I saw that post, I was like, what?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous.
But my prediction still stands. Like even though we both given reaction, you go with Roman Reigns, I go with Cody Rhodes. So
simple as that.
But the beauty behind it is this main event. It's been a most unpredictable main event in WrestleMania history since 2014.
Yeah,
with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
in my book. Because every other main event after that was, Roman's going to retain, or Roman's going to win. Roman's going to win when he was the big dog, babyface, or now the tribal chief.
Yep.
But this one is so many ways that they can go with this story. Will Cody finish the story early at WrestleMania, or will they make him struggle going into 40?
Yeah.
That's the beauty behind it. And will Roman cement his legacy as being the longest reigning champion in modern history, post Hulk Hogan era? We'll see. That's the beauty behind it. And just guarantee I'm gonna be glued to my seat right here, watching it unfold and enjoying every moment.
Yeah,
because I already know the match itself is going to deliver, in my opinion.
Yeah. Let me ask you, in just terms of overall rank with WrestleMania and just overall feel, everything we talked about today, regardless if our predictions are right or wrong, because I don't really care about the accuracy of predictions. I like just having this conversation, talking about all these different things. But as it stands with this card and everything we discussed with WrestleMania, do you think this will be one of the best WrestleManias in a long time? Like, where do you think this is just another WrestleMania? Do you think this is a WrestleMania that changes the game for WWE? What's your overall opinion on that?
This has been the most excited I've been about a WrestleMania since when wrestling fans came back in 2021.
Yeah.
So as far as like overall, I would say it'll probably be up there in the top 10.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it'd be the top 3. That's more so of like I would have to watch every WrestleMania up until now, and I don't have that much time in the world. But as far as like in recent memory, I would say it has the possibility of being top 10 as far as in ring, top 10 as far as story culmination or story continuation, and top 10 as far as like excitement level. Like I haven't been this excited about WrestleMania since 2014.
Yeah.
As far as like for every match and the possibility for every outcome. Because I've been so conditioned to Vince McMahon's way of booking, it'll be either 100% towards something we want to see or something that he want to see, and then we just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, but as far as like booking, aesthetic, and just overall like every character depth that they have and the possibility they can take this character, this will be top 10 easily.
Yeah.
As far as how I'll probably put it at number 9. Just to give it the little nudge, but yeah, top 10. Easily.
It's cool to see that after this, there's no excuses for WWE.
No.
Triple H inherited the Bloodline storyline, and he made the best out of it. But again, he inherited a lot of things. He inherited a long championship reign, just like he inherited Theory with the Money in the Bank and stuff like that. And we talked about Gunther. Maybe he wins Money in the Bank, and there's so many things that could be done here. Which I love. Like, I don't think there's right or wrong answers, but now there's no excuses for Triple H after WrestleMania. Whoever is getting pushed or not getting pushed, all those people you returned,
gotta dedicate.
This is your hard reset. This is change the way that you want to do things, change the people who you want to push. I don't care. Just have a very set plan on how you're going to do things after WrestleMania. I am super excited. I think there's a lot of potential with this show. Literally, I've never done a watch along for WrestleMania, and my audience last night, even today in the chat, I'm seeing a lot of people are saying, dude, we want to see you react in real time. I don't know how I feel about doing a watch along, but in the past, I've always felt like, damn, they're too long. I'm tired. I want to eat. I want to drink. I want to hang out.
You watch the show and give your thoughts that way, and then you give your thoughts afterwards.
Yeah, but now it's almost like, damn, this could be a really good WrestleMania where maybe I do it, and just overall, I'm excited about it.
A lot of YouTubers doing watch-alongs. I won't be a part of the aesthetics because I have a whole podcast afterwards.
Yeah,
so
that's me too.
I'm not about to drain myself from watching wrestling in real time and having to put on, because the beauty behind me watching this stuff, I'm not a character. Gresh, Joshua, is me.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be exhausted from being in watching this stuff. But as far as like I don't want to oversaturate an already oversaturated category in YouTube wrestling. So if you go live, I'll probably be in the chat and vibing with you. But as far as like me myself, I'm good.
I still haven't decided yet, but I do want to ask you one last thing, because I'm not going to keep you on board. We didn't get too many super chats, but we got some like new members and new subscribers, so I'll do shout outs. I'll probably take like 5-10 minutes, so I won't keep you for that.
Okay.
But I do want to ask you, because this WrestleMania is missing something. Now, we went through all the matches, but we don't have a match for Lashley. We don't have a match for LA Knight. There are some rumors that the Battle Royal can lead to a match between Lashley and LA Knight. There are some rumors that Bray Wyatt could be involved in some capacity. I don't have a match graphic for this because it's nothing official, but I do want to ask you, there's rumors of Stone Cold, there's rumors of LA Knight, there's rumors of Bobby Lashley, there's rumors of Bray. What do you do? Do you put them on the show? Do you miss out on them? This is a loaded show with tons of things going on. Plus, we know Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is going to be there. He's trying to get his WWE Championship back.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
So,
people forgot.
Situation.
So, where do you see LA Knight, Lashley? What do you got? What do you got for me?
See, I put a video out of what if for those who follow me on YouTube, I do what ifs using 2K or booking scenarios. Basically, something fun, fantasy. I put one out on like what if this was me. I know it ain't gonna happen, but this was like what if Braun Breaker faces Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania because I was like have him show up and be like I should be on this show. Like who am I going to face? So how about this? Whomever wants to come out, they can come and fight me, and they're gonna get put in a fight, and then have that as a way to introduce Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
But I like the way that you say introduce Braun Breaker if he loses the NXT title and have him challenge for the US title.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I looked at it. I'm looking at this logistically and realistically. If they were to keep them in this battle royal, have Bobby Lashley dominate the battle royal, eliminate as many people as you want, and then have LA Knight sneak up and eliminate him from the battle royal. You can either give him the win, LA Knight, or whomever, or you can either give him the win and have someone else that needs to win it. Like I'll probably throw a random pick out there and have Bronson Reed win the battle royal, and then have Bobby Lashley show up on WrestleMania and be like, I've had enough. I should be on this show. I should get the payday. I should be facing somebody. So I'm gonna go to that ring. I don't care who it is. I'm going to that ring, and he'd be like, okay, somebody come out, and then you can have either Bray Wyatt come out and continue the story, what they were doing, have a little fun moment, or have LA Knight come out bragging like he does. He's like, I eliminate you, yeah. I eliminate you, yeah. And then have them have a nice little match 1-on-1, and then you either have LA Knight win, or you have Bobby Lashley win. There's no wrong way with that. And then have Stone Cold come out and have a what off between the two.
Yeah.
And then have him take a stunner. That's just me just throwing it out there. But
yeah.
I would rather have them like I don't understand the reason why Bobby Lashley isn't on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He was in the Battle Royal. I'm one of those people who's like, he's really in that Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Really? But I'm not finna lose sleep over it. What about you?
So do we know, and maybe I missed it, do we know what WWE has plans with the Battle Royal? Because I thought I said something, you could win, or you could challenge for a mid-card title. Is that true?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just strictly you just get a trophy. Your name is on the trophy.
Normally that is the case, but there was a rumor that whoever wins this Battle Royal could get a championship opportunity for whatever they want.
That would be a nice twist.
So,
if that is true, I would have LA Knight or Bronson Reed win the Battle Royal so they can...
And that's what I was going to say, because then we talked about the Theory thing, right? Theory gets all bandaged up and he goes to Raw. Then you have the winner call their shot, right? Which could be cool. So I would totally be down for something like that. With the Battle Royal, though, I'm with you. Like Lashley, like really?
Dominate.
And I never understood the Bray Wyatt and the Lashley thing at WrestleMania. But I'll be honest with you, I think that was all a work. I do. I think there's a weird. I think that was the plan. I think it was a stupid plan, but I think the plan was to have Bray Wyatt call for Lesnar or Lashley. Lesnar probably was like, no, hell no, I don't want to do this, right?
No, I'm not doing the spooky stuff.
Makes sense. Makes sense. But then I think they were like, okay, well, we could do something with Bray Wyatt and Lashley. And I don't know if it happens at WrestleMania, but we talked a little bit about Bullet Club. We talked about Hurt Business. Wyatt family. Like,
who would you introduce in the new Wyatt family? Bo and Eric Redbeard?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it would make sense. Alexa Bliss,
okay.
You know. Shit. Hold on. We were talking about Bianca and Street Profits and MVP. And now you got Alexa and the Wyatt family, faction wars.
And hopefully they dedicate to the Wyatt family and Alexa and not just whatever they did the last time, just dedicate with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of possibilities with that.
There's a lot of things. I do think to some capacity though, and there's nothing wrong. Like you mentioned the off with Stone Cold and LA Knight.
Yeah, what? Yeah, what?
Yeah.
It'll be a nice little funny moment.
Cool little thing. And Stunner, and people will be like, oh, he got buried at WrestleMania. No, LA Knight is clearly not buried. This fucking guy, oops, I said that. YouTube, don't demonetize me. This freaking guy.
You're good.
Yeah. It only took almost 3 hours in, but LA Knight getting hit with a stunner would not mean that he's buried, and we all thought the pitch black match would screw him over, but even with losses, he's still taking up TV time. This is great stuff. So I hope in some capacity, I hate the Battle Royal thing with Lashley and LA Knight being in it, but I will say I think Triple H has a plan here for something at WrestleMania. Only time will tell, right? We'll find out. But I'm geeked, man. This is my... I don't think I've been this excited for WrestleMania for a long time. I chose not to go to LA, by the way.
I can't afford it.
I'm being honest with you. I just don't want to deal with the traffic. I don't want to deal with the travel and the logistics of it all. But I was like...
this is because there's so many people who wanted me to link up with me from Twitter and all that stuff. They're like, hey, you want to go to LA, Wale Mania and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I got money, but I ain't got LA money. And I got patience, but I ain't got the LA traffic patience.
I know.
I would literally lose my mind. I wouldn't enjoy the show.
Yeah.
But my goal is to hit up Detroit for SummerSlam. So hopefully they stack that show.
It's gonna be stacked.
That's a fun show.
It's gonna be stacked.
And who knows? My first WrestleMania might be WrestleMania 40 because I've never been to a WrestleMania.
Oh, Crash!
I've never been to a WrestleMania.
Little short story. Long story short, I went to WrestleMania 34, and the whole story was that Undertaker wouldn't be there. Right? It's Undertaker and John Cena. He squashes John Cena.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I got worked, bro. I remember thinking like, yeah, no, like they're telling people Taker's not going to be there because they don't want to set a false hope. You know, It wasn't until the day of WrestleMania, the picture leaks of the Undertaker at the airport or something, you know? And I remember seeing a photo online. I'm like, oh my God, like I bought tickets to this WrestleMania. I've never seen Undertaker live. Through all the WWE events I've ever been to, I've never seen him live. I've never seen his entrance. Everything is going down at WrestleMania 34. It's a decent show. There's some good, there's some bad. The entire week was sick. I loved New Orleans. But when Undertaker came out, that entrance was incredible. There was a whole different aura. Like I've never been to a wrestling show before. WrestleMania, that show was not the greatest card. Some of the matches were great. Some of them were not. AJ and Nakamura did not deliver the way I was anticipating. There was just a lot of things. But I will tell you, despite, like I look back and there's a difference. I look back on the WWE Network and watch it. My reactions were not the same as to when I was there. WrestleMania is a different level. So when I thought about going to WrestleMania 39, I was like, this is the show I got to be at. It is going to be absolutely incredible. I'm excited. This card is great. I'm going to go to LA. Then I have some people in my VIP members in Discord, and they live in California, and they're like, oh, I live in Orange County. I live here. It's a nightmare. I also wouldn't stay in this city. I wouldn't stay here. Like, these are some bad areas. This is a really good area, but it's super expensive, and it's 50 minutes away from the arena. Plus, with traffic, you're looking at about an hour and 50 minutes. Plus, the Uber cost is insane. Yeah, you can always rent a car, but then you're going to be stuck in traffic. You're not going to want to drive in Cali. As I'm talking to people about this, bro, I said, you know what? Last year, Angomania, the WrestleMania week spectacle was so incredible. I don't want to, like, hurt that. You know what I mean? Just to go sit there and deal with misery. So, come to Detroit. Traffic could be bad sometimes, but it's not like New York or Cali.
Got you in Detroit. Oh, yeah. So, that'll be a goal. Like,
come through. Sweetwater Tavern. Shout out to that place.
Me and my boy highlight reel. He actually is the voice behind my theme song.
Yeah.
Me and him hit it up. He was like, "Yo, we got it," because we went to SummerSlam last year.
Yeah.
For Nashville, and we had a ball.
Yeah.
It was fun. So we was like, we're gonna go full throttle. Might get it our Airbnb, the whole nine.
Yeah.
Just have a good time.
Yeah.
And and that's what I'm saying. It'll be a fun time. So that's my goal. Like if I don't go to WrestleMania for the first time next year, SummerSlam definitely in Detroit because it's looking like it's gonna be a stat card just by visual, just by if they go the route that me and you say they're gonna go and just actually go long term with stories. It'll be a fun show to go through.
Yeah.
So
I mean, just imagine you're in Detroit and you get Jay White versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship, dude.
Man, because Switchblade is my favorite pirate. I call him my favorite pirate because when I first was introduced to him, I thought he was a pirate, but he's Aussie. So I was just like, no, it's just the accent. I don't know why I thought he was a pirate. So I'm like, he's my favorite pirate. I want to see him live. So that's the inside joke. It's not to be taken serious. Don't try to say, oh, Josh, you think it's not that deep. Yeah. I'm not a deep individual. I literally just joke and watch wrestling. That's literally what I do. So if you come through with me, That's all I'm saying. We just gonna laugh and have a good time.
Bro, come through to Detroit. There's a couple spots.
Serious quotes.
Listen, bro, come to Detroit. You know X3, right? Zarius?
X3. Yeah,
X3.
Yeah, I know him.
Dude, I went to GCW one time. I seen him there, which we kind of know, like just going to Detroit. Like we're both from Detroit, so we go to these events, we run into each other, and he's a great kid. He makes awesome content.
Like,
I love his work.
That dude is a genius. Like he's a genuine soul. Like I've had many conversations with him. He's a genuine soul. He's one of those that I would highly recommend people supporting him. Yeah. X3 vibe, the whole nine. Like,
for sure.
But mainly X3. He's one of those guys, like he is a genuine soul. Yeah. And that's not me. That's not him trying to. That's not a cheap plug or him trying to like, hey, talk good about me. Like, I can tell you from. I'm not talking about X3, the character that he's not even a character. He's him. That's him. He created X3 because people don't know how to pronounce his name. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. But yeah, he is one of those guys. Like me and him are going to probably link, and me and you are going to probably link.
That's what I'm saying.
That was my goal.
Come through.
That's my goal to hit Detroit.
Come through.
Even I don't care if the match sucks, if the show sucks. Yeah. I just want to vibe with my good people that I meet in Detroit. So
the cool thing about Detroit too is like Metro Detroit area, like everything that's like 30-40 minutes out, like there's a lot you can do, like in terms of like bars and restaurants and stuff like that. So sometimes like I'll tell people like the drive for me, it's such a short drive, but like if we want to go somewhere like 30-40 minutes out, like you can do that and it's cool. There's a lot of things like Detroit for wrestling is awesome. I don't think it gets nearly the credit it deserves, but if you come through, I know some of my viewers, they want to link up too, and we'll do like a community meetup. But for sure, if you want to come through, I'll tell you everything. I'll guide you. I'll take you out. We'll go enjoy a night out in Detroit.
I don't drink, but you
don't have to drink. You don't have to drink. See, that's the thing.
I don't drink, but I'm still a party.
I stopped drinking because I'm Catholic. So for Lent, I gave up a variety of things, and one of the things I gave up was alcohol, which I don't really drink alcohol to begin with. But from time to time, I don't mind having a drink, a glass or two or three, whatever. But I will tell you, you can go downtown, and there's a lot of things you could do without having a drink, and that's always a good thing. Plus, there's a couple spots. I know where all the spots will be for you to stay and things like that too, so you don't have to go crazy with Airbnbs or all that stuff. But yeah, dude, this was.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely hit you up when the time's close because I'm trying to get that all access pass for Detroit. Yeah. All they got to do is hit me up with dates to purchase my tickets. I already put the deposit down, so we good. We got our seats, so we just gotta finish the payment. That's why I was like, we're like 80% complete. Yeah, because once we do that, my boy gonna take care of the stay part. I'll take care of the travel. Like we're partnering with this thing. So this will be a fun time with SummerSlam. Oh, someone asked will Randy Orton return this weekend? Who knows?
Oh,
who knows? That'll be a nice surprise too. Randy Orton return at WrestleMania this weekend. That'd be fun.
We talked about so many good things. Where do you even put him in?
I don't know. Raw at the Mania. It's a restart, so like you don't want to overconvolute the main show.
This is a random thought, extremely random.
Yeah,
because there's parallels. What if Theory became the Legend Killer? Starts with Cena. Randy Orton comes out and hits him with an RKO out of nowhere.
He kills the Legend Killer.
He kills the Legend Killer. I don't know. Just a fun little thought.
Oh, this is a thought. Who knows?
Theory got freaking buried by Cena, so now it's like you could do this thing where he starts taking after all the old guys that try to diminish him.
Just to prove that point to Cena that he is not going to be a flop.
Yeah.
But that was the main thing with Cena. He was like, even if you beat me, you're going to be a flop. Yeah. And his obsession is, I'm not finna be a flop. I'm gonna take out everybody. He can go out and he can revisit his match with Edge and take him out. They can do that, or they couldn't. I wouldn't lose faith either way. But that's the beauty behind it. It's a fun thing to predict.
Yeah. See, I forgot about Randy, but
I did too, because he was injured for so long. I was just like, oh, okay, he'll return. If he returns, I'll be genuinely popped. So
it'll be fun.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Gresh,
Yeah,
You're a legend.
I try to be.
This was fun, bro. We say some, well, not you. I say some crazy off the wall shit, but like I said,
I'm not saying y'all should listen to the podcast.
Oh, dude.
The Gresham League podcast. I say a lot of off the walls.
Nah, you did a good job, bro. You didn't get me demonetized. I probably got myself demonetized. Sometimes it'd be like that, bro. Sometimes I'll sit there and just start going off. Woo! I start freaking out, and next thing you know, I just, what? Yeah.
But luckily they're a little relaxed with it. Like I think they're relaxing with it. So you should be fine. You should be fine.
Who knows? If not, make sure you guys drop a super chat. Yo, I'm gonna put it in the chat one more time. It's also in the description if you guys didn't know, but Joshua Gresham, he is the host of Gresh Unleashed. And really, Unleashed, it's not just part of the name. I mean, it really is Unleashed.
Clearly, I'm unleashed, bro. Like we're in our retro review stages. Like we've been reviewing classic episodes because it's like even though we do post shows for modern wrestling and we're up to date with it, our schedules are all over the place. It's myself and my co-host Swella the Bandit. She's a gem. She's one of my childhood best friends. So it's literally a fun time. And I also do the Gresh on YouTube, which is basically me doing the 2K stuff. I'm eventually branch off into the YouTube summaries where I review classic and matches and do news and rumors and stuff, but in a fun way because I'm always trying to evolve in the YouTube game. I'm not trying to really stick with 2K or gaming stuff. I'm trying to evolve. So, you never know. You'll see me, and then I'm obviously working on trying to eventually branch off into the actual business. And who knows? I may run into Jonathan Gresham, and we might have an intense, awkward heart to heart. Like, are we related? Are we not? I don't know. We just have the same last name.
I should have asked him. I should have asked him. I was just there. I was just hanging out with him backstage. Impact. I should have asked him.
He probably wouldn't know either because that's the thing. It's like people thought Gresham was like a nickname. No, that's literally my government name. It's not a super fan of Jonathan Gresham. I didn't know of fun fact. I didn't know of Jonathan Gresham until 2018. Okay. I knew nothing of him.
Yeah.
And when I was like, oh, he has my last name. Cool. You didn't see me go to the super fan route and be like, oh, I know Jonathan. We share the same last name. I just went on about my business. I was growing the Gresh brand. That's just me. I'm not a fanboy. Yeah. I don't make my life around people having my last name because it's a lot of Greshams. Yeah. There's a whole road in Atlanta named after my family, and it has nothing to do with me and my direct family.
So you
it has something to do with our.
So you say.
I say. That's how I know. But let's say how I know because I don't know. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like I've been spending the last 5 years trying to learn my family history.
Yeah.
Who knows? I could be related to that man. I could be related to anybody. I just learned 10 years ago that I'm related to Martin Luther King from a blood because my great grandmother is his first cousin.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. It's so much death that you learn from just testing blood and just seeing where you related to. So, hey, man, who knows? But yeah, that's my goal is to because I'm always in the North Carolina area. So who knows? I might pop up on somebody's Twitch stream as a wrestler, not a wrestler, but like a on-screen character because I'm a promo guy.
There you go, guys. If you're not following Joshua Gresham, again, the link is in the description. Gresh.
Chris Hero, Big Hero, Chris in the chat said that's Black Edge because a lot of people. It's a joke on Twitter where I look like Black Edge. I look like Edge for some reason. I just laugh everything off. I don't look like that, man. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. I do not look like Edge.
All right, if you're Edge, then I'm Christian.
Exactly, we're Edge and Christian right now.
I'm Albanian Christian though, because I'm Albanian. I'm 100%. Martin Luther King Jr. is not my cousin. He's not in my bloodline.
No, but he's in mine. Yeah. So
damn, guys. First, okay, listen. So I started off the podcast. I started off the show. I was like, oh, I thought I got John Gresham's brother on here, or cousin or whatever. But Turns out I got Martin Luther King Jr.'s cousin in
Yeah,
here.
Martin Luther
That's
King's
crazy,
cousin
bro.
here.
I interviewed Samoa Joe and Jinder Mahal and AJ Styles and all of these great ass people. But dude, you just took the cake. We gotta have you on this channel permanently.
That is not a rib. That's not a joke. That's legit. Like it was confirmed when I was young, and it's like, and I actually verified it through blood, and I'm like, oh, so we actually are. Okay, cool. So yeah, that you had Martin Luther King's cousin on the channel.
That's crazy, bro.
But I don't.
Crazy.
And that's another thing with it too. I don't really boast about that either. I just say it in passing because I'm not a fanboy. Like I'm not about the clout of other people's legacy. That's just, I'm like, that's his legacy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him have that.
Yeah. But now you're making your own, bro.
Exactly. That's my goal. I'm all about my legacy. I'm pissed off for greatness. I'm pissed off for making Josh Gresham, aka Gresh, a big time thing.
Yeah.
I eat, sleep, flex this thing.
Yeah.
All the time. And that's not a plug to my merch, but that's just the fact of life.
Yeah.
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 All right, man. This was fun.
All right. Guys, again, please, I can only reiterate it so many times. Please check out Gresh. If you haven't subscribed, if you haven't followed him, if you haven't done any of that, you're missing out. I know we kind of talked about me and you possibly doing a review show, so we'll try to figure that out. We'll link up, and yeah, man. Thank you for being on this. This was fun. This was wild. It's fun, dude.
Oh.
Gresh, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Round of applause. Woo! All right, Gresh, I will link up with you after. I'm just going to read a couple shout outs and then we'll call it a day. Appreciate you, bro. Great takes, great podcast, and we'll chat soon, okay?
All right, my brother.
I'll see you, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. That is our boy Gresh. Let's see where we got to fix that. Oh, where am I? Where's my video camera? There we go. I think maybe I fixed it. No? Did I fix it? There we go. We're back. Guys, Gresh just absolutely killed it. This was a very, very fun episode of the prediction show. A lot of crazy takes. You might agree. You might not agree. It's okay. That's what makes these fun. I like to be bold. I like to have fun. Gresham absolutely killed it. He's great. Super enjoyable to see him just absolutely kill it. And I don't know, there was a fun dynamic there. I want to do more of this type of stuff. So again, please make sure you follow him. I want to get through some shout outs and some super chats. Not that many today to go through, so this shouldn't take too long, but no big deal. Albert Pons dropped a $5 super chat. Ango's taking over the world. LOL. Love to see the crossover videos. Keep up the great work, brother. Triple threat will slap hard and will steal the show. Albert, the triple threat match is something I think a lot of people are excited about. I know me and Gresh are. As far as taking over the world, it's one step at a time. Thank you for the $5 super chat. We got another super chat from Big MGM for $4.99. Dom MVP. Obviously, in regards to Dominik Mysterio, just in general, totally agree with this. And really quickly, Dominik Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, great storyline. A lot of great things happening there. I'm all for it. I think Dominik Mysterio has had a very good come up so far. I'm excited to see what happens. Thank you, Big MGM, for the super chat. We got another super chat from Mobile Monsi. Do you think Randy Orton will make an appearance? We did answer that at the end of the stream. We weren't even thinking about it, but then it got brought up. I think it could happen, but where it happens, I don't necessarily know. But I think Randy Orton showing up this week in LA makes a lot of sense. Whether it's WrestleMania or right after, I don't know. But I think it's very realistic. Thank you for the super chat, Mobile Monsi. We got another one from Albert Pons for $5. If Damage Control loses, they need to split, period. Dakota, EO stay as a team, and Bayley could find something to do, but split them and move on. Yes, I agree with that as well, actually. If they do lose, they need to go away because clearly they're taking losses. And it's a very, very good point that Gresh actually mentioned too, how they've been consistently, like we've seen them consistently on TV, but they're not winning the big matches. That's a big thing. That's the unfortunate part. But just in general, yeah, I would say EO and Dakota should stay as a team because they need women's tag teams, but Bayley should go do their own thing. Maybe they turn on Bayley too. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Denisha Lane dropping a $1.99 super chat. Denisha, I didn't look at my Discord at all, but thank you for the super chat. I'll take a look at it and I'll message you shortly. But I appreciate the $1.99 super chat. Albert Pons dropped another $5 super chat Silly question, but why have months of stories in line when you're selling the company and who knows what a new owner does with storylines and talent? Well, I think that right there is a good thing to ask. I would say in this situation, bro, realistically, if I'm WWE, I would have these storylines in place so whoever buys the WWE doesn't change anything, right? If you're Triple H, show the company who's buying them. Disney, Endeavor, Universal, whatever. I don't know what other companies out there and whatever. Hey, these are our plans. Like, don't get rid of us. Don't get rid of the people who are going to be part of these big storylines because we got a lot of things in the works. I think it would make most sense to have that. So hopefully that answers your question. And our final super chat of the night for $10 from Robin Plays Games. Shout out to RPG. Yeah. I was very entertained. Great opinions. Keep up the great work, Ango and Gresham. Thank you, RPG, for the super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, I thought this was fun. I like coming through with the craziness. I have some cringe moments. I have some great moments. I have some bad moments. I had a couple brain farts. That shit happens. But Gresham came through with some really good takes and really good opinions. And I think, it's just a lesson to everybody. You can disagree, you can agree, but you can have fun. You can have great conversation. It's wrestling. There is no right or wrong answer. We all look at it just from a different lens. And I enjoyed doing this stream. Last night we streamed for 3 hours. Today we streamed for almost 3 hours. This is an absolutely big week for the channel. Shout out to everybody who joined us. I will be live tonight for After AEW Dynamite. Albert Ponce, if you're still here, I'm going to message you because I enjoy when you are on those post shows with me. We had some seriously great conversations last night. Hopefully, I'll get you on board tonight. With that being said, thank you everybody for stopping by and watching the official WrestleMania prediction show. The Jay White, Cody Rhodes stuff, I stand firm on it. I'm super geeked about that. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, my friends, and I will see you next time.